as a player and the experience they have, but then they'll have 5 or 6 mates, and that's what the Lakers need.
Make the announcement of it regarding the new coach before the end of the season to give the existing players something to hang on to.
Yeah, optically, yes. I think it's very important to get that news out sooner rather than later, because at the end of the day, you're starting from the bottom, and it's come and go, and a bit more. Every other club is sniffing around them as well and asking the question, hey, you're out of contract, coach.
I don't think it has the same punch. I reckon if you can get, I'm not saying they rush the process, because obviously they're going to work through probably a broader view potentially, Brad, maybe in regards to their football operations, because it's not just the coach. We can't just peg all this on Rowan Brown.
No, that's right.
Peg much of it on Rowan Brown. It needs a broader kind of review of how the footy club is going, and then come back and get your coach out after that.
No, I agree, and I think even having someone like Jake Lohman in there now just.
Before the VFL Grand Final would be ideal.
Yes, ideal. I agree with that. Last game of the round to keep a close eye on to is North Ballarat taking on East Point at the Eastern Oval. I mean, I think what we've seen from North Ballarat in the last couple of weeks, they'll walk in firm favourites to this one. East Point have had some good showings, just haven't been able to put it together for 4 quarters. They continue to redevelop, I guess, their list this season, Brad McGowan. But depending on what East Point side shows up at home, could be a fascinating clash to keep an eye on.
It's an interesting point that just the at-home part, because North Ballarat seem to be so much better at home, and East Point seem to be so much better at home. But so, as you said, I still think North Ballarat will bring that level of polish to get them over the line, but it mightn't be as much as it would have been if it was actually at North Ballarat. So I'd say North by, say, 4 goals against East Point today.
Yeah, I'm interested to keep an eye on Liam Howard to see where he lines up. Now, he had the longest active streak since making his senior debut to not kicking a goal. He was 73 weeks, didn't have a major. He got 2 last week, and he's on the board. Sean Riley, I'm on watch with you, 53 games incoming, so he has got one, so keep an eye on that. But yes, I'll be interested to see how East Point continue to develop the list throughout season 2026 with finals out of the equation. As you probably could hear through the effects mic, the siren has sounded for the end of reserves grade, and Sebastopol been victorious in that one, 12-17-89, defeated Redan 6-5-41 here at the City Oval. Thanks to no one ticket D2 Jim. We're going to take a break. You're listening to 3BA, Footy's Home Ground.
Looking for a local business or service? Check out our Look Local guide. Click on local at 3ba.com.au. And if you have something on your mind or an event coming up and you need help spreading the word, get in touch with PT via Facebook Messenger or email pt@3ba.com.au. And you can be part of Let's Go Local. Weekday mornings just after 7 in the Big Show. Let's Go Local. Thanks to Sinclair Meats on Latrobe Street and your live and local station, 3BA 102.3.
Harvey Norman 10% in bonus. And 10% in bonus gift cards this weekend only at Harvey Norman. Do not for 1 month.
Go, Harvey, go.
Cater for your crew. Feeding your staff, hosting a family lunch, catering a fiesta with 200 of your closest relatives, Zambrero is here for you. Zambrero offers catering to suit any size event. Zambrero is Feel Good Max.
Have you been to the Market Hotel lately?
I have. We booked one of those private igloos and it was fantastic.
I went there for a function. The atmosphere was awesome.
You know, you can book the function spaces for free. Dinner, drinks, food, whatever you want.
Let's book for this weekend. Warm up this winter at the Market Hotel. The Winter Wonderland is here until the end of August. Book your igloo, function or table today and experience great food and exceptional service. The Market Hotel, Ballarat's favourite local.
The Ballarat Jobs and Training Expo is coming to the Goods Shed Friday, July 24. This free event brings together more than 80 employers, training providers, universities and industry leaders under one roof. Whether you're looking for a job, planning your future or considering a career change, make sure you're at Ballarat Jobs and Training Expo. Register online now for your free ticket. The Ballarat Jobs and Training Expo, connecting local people with local opportunities.
Proudly local here for Ballarat. That's Ross Street doing supplies. Locally owned and operated for 34 years. They're your neighbours, not a franchise. From framing, flooring and doors to developments, decks, fencing, gates and hardware. They've got what you need. Backed by friendly service and know-how you can trust. They'll and deliver it fast. Support local, build local. With Ross Street Building Supplies. 3 Ross Street Ballarat. Or visit discounttimber.com.au.
You know what's more competitive than those two? Kia's offers across a wide range of new and demonstrated models like the Tucson Hybrid from just $44,990 right away. It's game on. Visit Peter's Agency Hyundai, LMCT 11740. T's and C's and exclusions at petersagencyhyundai.com.au.
Now it's back to McDonald's BFNL action, thanks to our #1 ticket holder, D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
No wind, and two teams that are going pretty well. Like, we know that Sebastopol sit top of the ladder, but Redan have snuck up on teams, all right? In their last few games, they've beaten Sunbury, they've beaten Melton, and they lost on the last kick of the day to Darley.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty good resume over the last month.
He's a very good resume in the last month, and they're young, their exuberance, goes a long way. But it's getting that senior crop back.
Yeah.
Like having Brody Pope back there, having Jacob Wirtz back this season, having Will Madden back this season. It just gives you, across your lines, some really good structure that's been able, as the season gets a little bit harder, the grounds get a little bit heavier, hold them in very good stead.
Well, let's be specific about some of those players. So Will Madden is the ruckman. He's had some VFL experience. He's not the most polished ruckman, but he's a competitor, and it's exactly what Redan needed. They needed a big, strong bloke to get in the middle and show some leadership, throw his weight around, and that makes his younger players, his younger midfielders, walk that bit taller. All right, so he's been fantastic, and I heard Mark Gregg, the coach of Redan, say during the week that when Will Madden came back and played his first game, they won straight away. And after the game, he said, "Well, it's not that hard, boys." All right, and it was just, Greggy said it was just fantastic to have a senior bloke just walk in with a bit of swagger and a bit of confidence like that. This is all you have to do. You just need me on your side, boys. And to be honest, that has really helped him. Then you look at their forward line. Well, it's the land of the Bonds down there, and they've been so good. Lockie Bond at full forward, and then we know Daniel Bond, and then Taj Bond, who is such a dynamic, tall. Well, we thought he was a ruckman, but actually, Greggy has explained that really he's probably more of a forward, and that he should play about 80% forward, maybe 20% backup ruck. We know he's on the Geelong VFL list. He was the player that actually hurt his foot in the interleague game.
Yes.
And has come back. And every time we see him, he just does 2 or 3 things that are absolutely outstanding and look AFL type level. He's just at his young and developing.
But They obviously do get, as you said, Taj Bomb back. They have unfortunately lost Rory Gunster, who's been called up to the VFL as a late magnet move there. And a bit of a unique one, Sean Mason's come into the lineup, which means we're playing against brother Liam, who plays for Sebastopol. So that'd be a nice little fun tidbit for the afternoon.
That's right. So I was talking to the family earlier this morning. So both of the Mason boys weren't in the side midweek. All right, and as you said, Sean then gets the call up. Liam got the call up midweek. And so, yeah, it's going to be a challenge for the family. They don't know what way to look. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. I've been able to coach both of those young fellas. Both. So Sean's more of an inside mid-type player. He'll probably...
Had a bit to do with him and his development, coached him at college. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, well, Jay Conley's such a powerful athlete. So he was a kid that was a first rower, so had the aerobic capacity, but is also just lives in the gym. A really powerful, strong leg, strong core, etc. And uses that power so well as an inside midfielder. He was injured at the start of the year, so missed a bit of the Rebel stuff. Came back, was fantastic for the school. And then I think he had 10 clearances last week as a mid-forward, a half-forward flanker coming up and going in to help Redan. So a really strong clearance player, and he's someone who's started to become a really important player for Redan as well. Look, I don't know whether I don't think they're talking about him necessarily being a draftable player at this age, but I would think that he's the sort of player that would go on and play VFL footy, and really, if he'd worked at it hard enough, maybe he could have an AFL experience, because he certainly has an AFL body.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask you, Brad. What is his ceiling? Because I do see him as quite high. I think he's a perfect example of someone who should be looking at the VFL contract next year as he continues to develop and get better. But also, a question on that front is, I've seen him play inside and outside. Yeah. What do you think his best strength is?
Oh, his clearance work is his great strength, and he's powerful, like seriously strong, athletic. We did fitness tests and stuff at school, and that his athletic vertical jump, his ability to lift, etc., is so strong. So And
he wasn't selected at all last year in the Rebels program, but on the weight of his performances, Redan got him in. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Because he doesn't necessarily look as on the outside as an elite kick, so to speak. He is fast, but his greatest sort of strength is his power around the footy. So I would have him as the target. He's just able to use his body work to create separation from his opponent, get it and then give it off or kick it forward. He has been kicking goals as well. But he's certainly someone who, like, he's only 18 years of age, or probably still only 17, but to be able to be playing senior footy, and he's played 4 or 5 games for Redan, and most of the time when he plays inside, he gets close to 10 clearances. I think they started him forward last week, but with Gunter out, my guess is that Jay Conley will go in onto the ball and help Brodie Pope as that number one sort of target at the stoppages.
It's bumper crowd in at the City Oval, of course, opening new rooms, plenty of past and current Redan faithful in, as well as the Sebastopol. They always travel well wherever they go, which means Tristan Ashmore has made his way out to the boundary side to check out the ground at the City Oval and see how is conditions here at the wonderful City Oval.
Yeah, gents, beautiful blue skies here down from the benches. No real breeze to report on, but in terms of the ground, the wing's definitely the softest part, as well as the goal squares, as expected this time of the year. Overall, though, perfect conditions in what shapes to be a fascinating contest.
And before we let you go, T, have you got a tip this afternoon?
Yeah, in terms of a prediction, boys, I'm going to go half-time, full-time double. Redan to lead, main change. Sebastopol flex their muscles late. Sebastopol.
Thank you very much. Talk side doing fine work.
Good on you, Tristan.
This afternoon, as we're just keeping an eye on the coin toss, and it looks like Jacob Wirtz has won the toss, and they'll be kicking towards, well, I guess, our end of the ground, which is the City end, if you will.
Yeah, and look, I do. A couple of weeks ago. Now that was leading into the bye. We spoke to Tony Lockyer off air after his on-air interview. He just said, yeah, we did feel a bit tired. We were hanging for the bye. So it's interesting. I would have thought
they were good in the second half last week, weren't they?
They
that
did.
Run on the last quarter. I 100% agree with it. So the first 3 quarters last week, they were okay.
Yeah.
The last quarter was something else.
Well, so I think if Sebas certainly had
Is it enough for you to make them tip them today, Brad McGowan, Redan, or do you stick fat with the informed buck?
Well, I actually really like Tristan's little prediction there in terms of Redan leading early on, but Sebas just being able to run over the top with their class and skill at the end. I think I would stay the same with that. I think Sebas by a couple of goals in the end.
And is there anyone that you've highlighted in your book already to keep an eye on for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day that we should be, I guess, paying attention to?
Look, I'm interested in Brodie Pope. I think Brodie Pope, we know at the start of the year, he was the guy that was getting the 10 clearances and 30-plus possessions for Redan. So I wonder whether Shane Snipson, the assistant coach, and today the coach of Sebas, gets Luke Keele to go to him. We know that Keele is generally his player that he gives a job to, so Brodie Pope might be the man. Or maybe it even is Jay Conley, depends on what exactly happens there. I'm really interested to see this ruck battle with Will Madden and Toby Hutt. Toby Hutt, as we know, all over the ground. Run him around, or can Will be just physical enough to stop him? So I'm certainly interested in that battle. And then someone like Ollie Pittard, can he kick a couple from the wing? How will he go on that outside?
Roger LeGrand, I'm interested in your tip and prediction for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day, because I think this game's a lot closer than what maybe some pundits are giving it credit for.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think it will be a close game. I just think that midfield class of Sebas, particularly now in the absence of Gunter as well, will get the main line. I'm really interested to see the role that Luke Keele plays, given Tony Lockyer's comments pre-game about him moving to half-back last week to cover for Buckley and Lockyer, and I think Tony made the comment himself that he covered both of them comfortably. I mean, Luke Keele has had a super season. Like, let's not play that down at all. He'd had 2 injury-interrupted years before this. He has, it's as good as he's played, certainly in the Ballarat Football Netball League. So I'm going to, if I was to identify someone who could be a Sporting Globe Player of the Day, I think Luke Keele would be a good chance at that.
Certainly, as the players are making their ways into position here, the beautiful City Oval for this round 13 in action between Sebastopol versus Redan. On paper, it's decided in the top 6 versus decided outside the top 6. It's a lot closer than I feel. Redan at home in good form. Good watch this afternoon live for 3 days, Footy's home ground. Thanks to no one to go to D2B Gyms.
Is Buckley back into the side for Sebastian? He is though, isn't
Yeah, and then he's come out again. So he was the late out for Liam Mason to come in. And interesting, Macca, you must have been listening to what Mark Reig had to say, because who goes straight into that first centre bounce for Redan? It's Jake Connolly. So perhaps stepping into that role that Gunster would have played.
Yeah, certainly there he is. He's sort of forward of the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the target at this first stoppage here.
We're ready to go. Umpires get ready to put signal to mouth. It's Redan versus Sebastopol here for round 13 action. And for the opening terms, first bounce, we're going to go down man Roger LeGrand to kick things off here at the wonderful City Oval.
As you said, Sam Young, a really healthy crowd in today, and obviously I think Redan have got a past players day, but beautiful Ballarat wins today. Sebas have a big following, so crowd right behind this one as the umpire comes in to get play underway, the all-important first throw up, but no one won it decisively. Banbury got the handball for Sebastopol over to Hutt. He got on the outside to O'Shea, goes in short looking for a hit-up target and finds him, plays on quickly. The handball was smothered. It was meant for Cassidy, not able to get to him. Sebas looking to force a stoppage here early. Kick off the ground by Cassidy, went deep inside 50 mark. Was a player held, umpire said no. Redan looking to get back and clean up, and Lang has the ball. He comes out wide to Clark now and kicks from outside 50. Pinnard tried to mark, ball went over the back of his head. Cleaned up over there by Banbury for Sebastopol. Ball came inward to, looks like Stewart. Stewart kicks long towards the goal screen. Redan again forcing the spoil. Whistle's gone, or has it not? Or is that coming from the netball court? Doesn't matter. The snap goes ahead from Forbes and 3 for 1 behind.
One score to start. The Metro scoreboard goes away with Sebas. It was ever dangerous. Adam Forbes getting down low and getting the opening score. A bit early for Forbes time. I really had a perfect start.
That whistle did come from the netball course. We're only sort of 15 metres away from the netball court, so that may throw us at times.
But one behind on the scoreboard. It goes the way of Sebas. So Redan to bring back in the field of play. Be Lawson do the kicking duties as he's done for the majority of the season for the Lions. Looks to come broadcast side as they break from a little old style huddle in the direction of Kalea. Won't get there. Getting back to nice strong mark taken there by Medwell. He goes laterally inboard to link up with Henderson. Wheel around to that left side. Lower the eye and find Fletcher on the lead.
Sebastopol already look dangerous. Just having someone like Bailey Medwell just run around the wing just doesn't seem fair. He's such a good player. He'd be an inside mid of most teams. But the Sebas forwards, we heard Mark Gregg talk about during the week that the Redan defenders are often just playing back shoulder, and that was a case there where the Sebas forwards were given a couple of metres and able to lead up at it.
Had a career high 24 disposals in the win over Ballarat Swans last week. Been sneaky good, as described during the week, was Fletcher this year. Kicks on his way, right behind it. Was always near side of the boot. Minus score on the Metro scoreboard. That's 2 behinds to the Borough. Redan yet to score and yet to enter their attacking half.
Talk about being close to the netball court. We seem to be also next to a big bunch of seagulls.
Well, it's all those hot chips you got in the break, Brad McGowan, from the wonderful canteen below.
It's like there's chips on top of the effects mic because the seagulls are all over it.
So Harry Lawson with ball in hand for Redan. He won the Sporting Globe Player of the Day the last time we were here at City Oval, actually, against Lakeland. He played a terrific game. He kicks out long towards that Sturt Street side. Ball spills over the back. Henderson goes in for Sebas to pick it up, not able to do so, and the umpire will come in and ball the ball up. Macca, just quickly while you're watching there, I noticed Little Hales is playing in the back line today. He's picked up Bond. Yeah, it's a good matchup, and Little Hales has been playing well in defence of late. It's such a luxury to be able to play swinging back or forward, and with Lockyer, etc. out, he's playing back at the moment.
Madden took a certain position, tried to take out the ruck, was unable to extract ball held between players there. In between half forward swinging and the outside from our broadcast position. Ball literally a good 150 metres away from our broadcast position, virtually on the outer side. 2 behinds is the Borough leading Redan, yet to score and yet to get the footy in their half. As we go again with Hutt against Madden. Madden with knockdown. Good clearance coming the way of Conley as he looks at the back, and Redan look to access the corridor now. And well, it was good, and they'll go broadcast side with the kick in the clear direction. It's a poor pass. Curtin read the cues. He'll take the mark, and they still haven't gotten their half yet. As he goes laterally, finds Henderson, 70 from goal. Always so good by foot. In the bright yellow boots this afternoon, he pounds one towards full forward into the leading lane. Ball is the turf, getting back in defence. Redan are desperate, but not good by hand and gone. Incorrect disposal, Roger LeGrand?
Yeah, completely agree. Had prior opportunity, didn't get the fist to the handball, got the hand out there. Strong defensive pressure from Sebas.
They'll lock it in their attacking half early, Brad McGowan. They have, in 4 minutes of footy, Redan have not gone into the half.
Yeah, well, just the pressure, as you said, has been so good for Sebas.
So Jimmy McDonald will come in from 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle and pop through the opener here at the City Oval. Sebas, 1 goal, 2-8 on the Metro scoreboard. Redan yet to score.
Well, the thing with Redan is they haven't been able to move the ball at all. They've actually got their hands on the ball at a few stoppages, but they're often giving off a quick handball. Then the Sebas pressure comes in. The Sebas pressure has been good enough to then mean that the Redan people can't necessarily execute a good kick. Plus, the Sebas defenders have just been proactively positioned in front of the Redan forwards, and it's meant that because the pressure on the kick has then meant it's rushed, Sebas have been able to chop it off.
And Brad McGowan just looking and going back to Tony Lockyer's comments pre-game. So Luke Heel, half-back flank, Ben Hutt, half-back flank. So they're covering those Buckley and Lockyer roles that we know of. Great hit out there from Toby Hutt in the middle. Henderson wasn't able to pick the ball up. Ball came back to Madden, who snapped on his left boot for Redan inside 50. Was there a hold on Bond? Umpire said no. He was able to get a handball, though. Redan with some weight of numbers forcing through. High tackle on the Redan player there. Looks like it's going to be a free kick to, looks like, is it Brody Pope or Daniel Bond? We're a fair way from it here, just waiting for him to turn around. It was definitely there. Got him high, and Redan are going to kick from about 35 metres out directly in front.
Lockie Clark, Rog.
So Lockie Clark, it is the youngster. Will line up for about 35 metres out directly in front.
So Clark will start his approach to get that instant response. 1 entry. Can ever be fruitful for 1 goal. Clark. Right foot kick on its way off the outside of the boot, but he squeezed it hard. And Redan get the response. 1 goal straight 6 to 1 goal 2-8 of Sebastopol on the Metro scoreboard.
Yeah, it was just a better performance overall by the Redan forward line. We know this forward line is going to be pretty handy today. All right, and the kick went a bit deeper, I guess, and then it was just a good one-on-one contest to at least get the ball to ground for Redan, and then Clark comes in and wins that free kick. So important for the young Redan side to get a bit of confidence, get on the board early.
Lockie Bond involved there as well. Kicked 5 of their 6 goals last week in the win over Sunbury. And his record in senior footy for Redan is tremendous. In only 32 games, he's bagged 75 goals. So he's always going to be involved in the goal-scoring threat.
It's interesting you talk about Luke Keele being at half-back. He does not want to go and man up his player. It's like his opponent is trying to drag him out of the corridor. Luke Keele's saying, no, I want to be close to the corridor. Can I go and play on someone who's closer to the corridor, as he is that real architect at half-back?
So hard against Madden to continue their jostle at the 7-minute mark of the opening term. Hutt with the tap. Follow-up was good by Daniel Bond. Handball was in the direction there of Conley. Kept it alive and got the handball retreated back. Dumping kick forward there came from Catley, but it's poor. Straight to that man, Luke Keele.
Yeah, his man went 10 metres out towards the boundary, and Keeley said, I'm not going. I'm going to stay in the corridor and mark this.
So he comes inboard and finds Felix Henderson, who plays on quickly, goes in short dangerously. He's going to turn this over, and he did. Redan were able to force the ball inside 50. A foot race on towards the goal square now. Ball tapped in front of Bond. Ben Hutt comes through. Was he held? Umpire says no. Picked up by Lockie Bond. He was tackled. Should have been holding the ball. I thought umpire called play on. Ball comes back in the direction of McKay. Brad McGowan's pointing towards the goal square because there's someone alone by himself. It won't matter because Daniel Bond snaps over his head and through for a behind. Redan 117. Sebastopol 128 on the Metro scoreboard.
Yeah, Redan Unicorn, Taj Bond was in the goal square by himself for 30 seconds, screaming, get me the ball, and eventually they kicked it over his head.
Yeah, they missed the baby giraffe. As at a fullback, Keel will play on and go down the right, down the eye, diddle with a long kick in the Edwards direction. Nice strong mark.
How do they not know they're going to do that?
They do it every time, Bradley. And they do it so well. This Edwards takes the mark, and he can go left side this time with a kick. In the leading lane with Forbes at half foot over his head ball is the turf. Has to be touched before he goes out, otherwise it'll be a lasso free kick. He gets walked over the line there by Hommerhoff, who's a welcome inclusion this week, and we'll get a ball in right in the 50-metre arc. Broadcast side. It's Sebastopol by 1 point on the Metro scoreboard.
Having said that, Sebastopol do go down the middle to Edwards at every kick in, but maybe it's harder to stop. Maybe they know it's going to happen, but it is hard to stop because it's such a good, big, strong contested mark.
So the ball comes back in from the boundary throw in. Madden won it out, and Redan will get the clearance. Straight up the middle of the ground, they Ashbon, he marks comfortably out in front of Little House on the chest. He's got to move the ball quickly here, and he does. He kicks to the leading lane, looking in the direction of a teammate in Callio. Sebastopol able to get numbers back through Keel and Curtin, though, and they're going to get away with this with a kick from Ben Hutt.
Yeah, really good composure there from the captain. Hutt and go short to Little Hales on the half-back line on the other side from our broadcast position. We know Sebastopol don't like to kick down the line. Short option and Keel presented, and unopposed, he's able to go for a little merry dance here. Runs his full 15, pierces one towards the lead. Just bounces the feet there of Fletcher. Ball still alive at half forward. Redan get the numbers back. Good tackle applied by Sebastopol. Ragdoll and gone. Didn't sling him, just ragged him to the turf. Holding the ball. Good recovery from Fletcher. As Sebastopol, he'll use the stand rule, play on, pierce the ball in with a wobbly kick. At the bootlaces with the intent to target with a real scrubbery entry. Trying to clear there was Barker. His kick was partially smothered by Redan. Ball tucked in the pocket. Minari circling, kept alive there by Cassidy. Sidesteps one superbly. Hits the hot spot with the right foot kick. Another scrubber towards full forward. Redan get back in numbers. They're looking at access the corridor. Nice little run there from Lockie McLean. Left foot kick. Good one. And Redan exit nicely.
They do. And that man, Jake Connolly, with the ball in hand. He plays on quickly. So Redan obviously got to focus today on moving that ball quickly into their forward line. And it's evident. But it gets let down when the first game, Henry Liston misses the target and kicks the ball out in the full. It'll be a free kick to Sebastopol, almost right in front of the interchange bench near. And the umpire's going to pay a 50-metre penalty, I think, here. Tristan, did you pick up what that 50-metre penalty was for?
No, I didn't. I've just noticed that it's still very damp on the wings, hence why the skill issue is a bit lower on their side.
Thank you, Tristan Ashmore. So Luke Keel says thank you very much for the 50-metre penalty. He's now about 65, 70 metres from goal, and he's going to use his long boot to kick towards the goal square. Pack will fly. Fletcher nearly had it. Ball spills to ground. Redan defence under pressure. Hurried kick out of that back pocket will go out on the full, and the free kick to Sebastopol on 50.
If I'm in the Redan coaching box, I'm tagging Luke Keel now. I'm putting a defensive forward on him. Good call. He's already starting to get too much of the ball.
So Henderson went laterally, found Curtin. He'll go to the required 15-metre pass to find Medwell. He'll just casually wheel around, dump it inside 50. Hutt almost took the outstretched mark. Edwards good below his knees. Handball in the direction there of Wiley Anderson. He's caught in the tackle. And in the end, umpires say give it to me and throw things up 50 from goal.
It's just interesting. Redan are finding it really hard to get out of their back line, aren't they? They just don't have the kicking skill to be able to hit the target or necessarily the targets leading at them. So that's a watch today because Sebastopol have been able to get repeat entries and they've been scoring from them.
So to be Will Madden from Redan against Toby Hutt in the rough. Ball went to ground. Bond went in strongly. Wasn't able to pick it up. That's Daniel Bond, and a heavy tackle laid on him. The ball is on the forward line of the centre square, Sebas into the ground. They're kicking to the Pleasant Street end here at City Oval this afternoon on a beautiful sunny day. Hit out was one from Sebas, but not to any real advantage. Mortlock got back, so that Redan able to clear, although hurriedly into the centre of the ground. Ben Hutt in front. Shoved out. Heavy contact. It was like a head clash. Both players gone down. Ball comes back to Cassidy for Sebas. Kicks inward but missed the target. Mark taken by Redan. I think it's Nick Barker back there. About 35 minutes from the Sebas goal.
Phillips and Bond with the head clash, and be one for Tristan Ashmore keeping on if they come to the benches at all and be assessed. Short ball finds its way to Wirtz inside D50 for Redan. Looks to find Will Madden taking the mark. Still in defensive 50. They come towards now the broadcast side. Mark taken by McLean. Tried to change a little the angles of left footers. Kicked the smother, but was able to recover. And now the piercing ball work out to the middle. Mark taken by Mortlock. As Redan looks to slingshot now to the other end of the goal. McLean continuing to run on. Bangs it inside 50. Look at the Bonds! Couldn't hang on, good charge at full stretch. Ball into turf. Phillips gets back. Handball down to Lil Hales. Right foot kick around the bodies in the Forbes direction. Now will it stay alive? Yes, it will. And off goes Borba. That was assess his options. Chips over the top. And nice pass finds Hutt sliding in and take the mark.
Hutt marks on the wing in front of his own coach's box. And as Forbes goes running past looking for the 1-2. He didn't give it to him, so he kicks inside 50.
Good kick.
And finds Banbury. It was a beautiful kick as called by Sam Young, and Banbury marks just inside 50. Banbury kicks long towards the goal square. 3 or 4 players will contest this one. Strong fist from Bond over to a teammate in Grant. Wasn't able to pick up cleanly, and ball spills out again. Sebas still with a chance here. McDonald goes in. It's going to be a ball up beside the behind post. Sebas into the ground.
Phillips came off in the hands of the trainers, boys. Nasty cut on the right side of his head, assuming he'll have a look for concussion.
Thank you very much, Tristan Ashmore, boundary side. Well, of course, Phillips in a head clash with Bond. It looks like he's come up worse for wear.
Daniel Bond, that was.
Yes. Deep in the left forward pocket. Opportunity for the Borough to get on the move. Get back some separation on the score sheet. Then desperate to hold things in. Catley unable to do so. And in the end, the umpire eventually says, give it to me, I'll throw it in the air.
Just quickly, Brad McGowan, the growth in Little House's defender that last contest down here. He was right on Taj Bond's hammer. Was able to force Boyle and get the kick clearance away.
It was fantastic because the kick was perfect right out in front of Bond, and he's so tall and hard to get around. But you're right, one man that could do it was Little House.
Madden wins it down close to the boundary line. Hit up the deck there by McDonald, but it was always near side with the soccer off the deck, and the minor score is registered 139 on the Metro score, but that's Sebastopol, Redan 117.
I was impressed with Redan's ball movement previously to bring it out of defence. Lockie McLean, the forward who's now gone back, such a good left foot kick. He was involved, and again, Redan better kicking out of defence.
So Harry Lawson played on from fullback that time, ran a good 15 metres and then kicked it long outside of 50. It found its way to the ground, and Bailey Carroll was tackled straight away by a much improved player in Callum Stewart. He's been super this year for the Borough, and the umpire will come in and ball the ball up. So that score, if you just joined us, Redan by 5 points, early stages in this first quarter. Ball comes down at the back to Mason, who's come in as the late change today. Over the top to Ben Hutt. Goes beautiful kick, Ben Hutt. Hit his teammate on the chest with a barrel, Sam Young. It was a ripper.
That makes me want to play footy again when you're leading out to that sort of kick, isn't it, Brad McGowan? Nothing you do as a defender.
Well, there's a rule that you never handball to ruckman, but that was a handball to a ruckman who did a lace-out kick to a forward leading. So Toby Hutt, maybe he's the unicorn because that was wonderful.
So Ashmanari directly in front from 35. Sharpshooter. Always good for a couple of goals a game, this guy. And directly in front for his first of the afternoon. The rifle kicks on its way. And the goal pie did move an inch. He pops it through. And it is the second goal of the afternoon for Sebas.
That scoreboard's incorrect, sorry, listeners. So I said they were only 2 behind, but they're actually 2 goals now. So 2 goals, 2-14 to 117 on the Metro scoreboard.
So Ashmanari joins James McDonald on the score sheet for the Borough, whilst for Redan, Lockie Clark is our only individual goal kicker.
Redan have done a reasonable job in defence, but I am concerned that that's an area where Sebas, if you looked across the different lines, Sebas certainly would have the advantage at their forwards against the Redan defenders. I think the midfield is a bit closer to even, although Sebas would still have that. I don't know. Maybe it's even. Maybe Redan have a better forward line than the Sebas defenders. We'll see how this game plays out.
A little Hal's in behind the footy. It's actually going to be opportunity for Edwards to go on the ruck. He actually didn't choose to compete. Bond wanted down unopposed, and a free kick's been picked out the way of Redan. It's going to go the way of Brody Pope. He'll go the short pass. Conley being prominent early will take the mark after the 15-metre ball. Can send the Lions into attack. He wheel around, bump off one towards full forward. One for the high flies. Edwards getting back and take the mark. Wait down to Carroll. He took on the world and collected high. Broke the first tackle. Second tackle was high. And shot on goal coming up for the Lions.
It was a good contest, wasn't it? I do think that Redan are going to be pretty good in the air because one of the Bonds is going to be able to bring it to ground like that. If Redan can get front and centre like they did just then and win those crumbs, that's how they scored their goal, their first goal. Looks like their second shot on goal here will come from the same sort of circumstance, getting it long and then crumbing.
Limited entries, but maximum damage seems to be a start for Redan. Only had a couple inside 50s. They've already got 1-1 on the scoreboard, and they responded to the first goal instantly. Can they do it with the second? Bailey Carroll from 30 metres out, 45-degree angle, comes in, and that always looked near side. It was a horrible strike off the boot, I must have said. And a minor score result, 1-2-8 on the Metro scoreboards to the Lions. Sebas, 2-3-15.
Can I ask you, Brett McGowan, what Joel Edwards was doing? Deep defence then as Luke Keel brings the ball back into play. He goes pretty much up the middle again. Good spoil in the end by Redan. Ball comes out to Medwell, over to Toby Hutt. Got round one. Has the agility. The big man goes in short. Back to Medwell. Medwell's on the outside of the 50. Did he play on? Umpire said, yes, you did. So he's forced a handball into his own 50. Ball comes to ground. Redan forcing numbers back. And they're going to be able to force...
Gone.
No, gone. Jeez, that seemed really hot. What did you think, Brad McGowan?
It was hot, and going back all the way back here, Rod, I think Edwards was the one that gave away the free kick.
Yeah, he
down
was.
This end. And so, yeah, maybe he was told to stand and not allowed to leave, and we all know we're a bit confused about who's got to stay and who can't go. But again, Sebas get another shot on goal because of their forward pressure.
Jacob Fletcher's the beneficiary of that tackle. The only thing I think is he did stick his arm out slightly.
So maybe the fin.
Hard, so maybe that was...
Just looked hot.
It just, didn't have a lot of time to get rid of it. Fletcher capitalised with a good executed tackle. Can now execute on the goal front. Right foot kicks on its way, and that's better off the boot. He splits the middle, and the Borough have 3-3-21 on the Metro scoreboard. Redan 1-2-8 here at the City Oval.
Wonderful technique with that goal. I can see his foot followed through directly towards the target. Leant back a little bit, but that just allowed to sit up. There's really no breeze, so it just moves straight through the middle.
Might cross down to Tristan Ashmore for an update on that injury or that head knock to Luke Phillips. Has he come back on the ground yet, Tristan?
Yeah, he's literally just run back on, Roger, and I think he's used all of the blood tape that Sebas had available today.
Or he has been mummified.
Look out. He will be very easy to spot for us commentators. So that score, Sebas out to a 13-point lead on the Metro scoreboard. We played 19 minutes in the first quarter. The D2E Gyms from Delacombe to Wendouree. You're never too far from a D2E as Hutt contests the ruck. Bond's doing his share in there. That's Taj Bond. In comes that man we spoke about pre-game for Sebas. For Redan, sorry. Jake Connolly. And he's just a clearance king, Brad McGowan.
Yeah, I reckon that's his third clearance so far.
Yeah, when the ball hits the turf, he's just the first to react. He's always on the move. Treads water beautifully in there. He's a good watch on the tape, I must admit.
He's so fast over that first couple of metres because of that power that he has.
So Bond against Hutt. Unicorn versus Unicorn. You take your pick. Bond with the tap. Umpires pick their free kick and over the shoulder, which is easy to do on the big fella. It's going to go the way of Tarn.
Not if you're a little bloke.
Well, you're around the shin for most of us. Height inept. He gives the handball off and pounded inside forward 50 by Redan. Madden resting forward, did well, did everything but take the mark. Reacting at ground level is Stewart. He looks to link up his long-sleeved brother and Henderson. Foot candy superb. Left foot kick piercing towards Forbes in a one-on-one with Grant. Sees at the back and then he shins it out of bounds, and that should be Lasso. Umpire should come and correct this. That came off the bootlaces.
No, he's calling it off the thigh.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about it either. But
and I reckon football wants the stats, so he doesn't think of it either.
Well, football wasn't arguing because he was giving away the free kick.
Yeah.
No, he wants the stat.
Geez, Grant's got to be careful. He can't let Forbes get in behind him like he did then.
No, that's for sure. So Taj Bond doing the ruck work down to Daniel Bond. Ball came out to Pittard for Redan. He heads it out wide now, looking for a teammate named Clark. That's Lockie Clark, finds it for Redan. On the wing, goes inside 50 in the direction of Lockie Bond. He leads in the race of the ball over Phillips. Phillips uses his body really well and just kind of nudged him out the way. Was able to get the handball over to a teammate. Under pressure now. Ball comes back. Strong tackle laid by O'Shea, I think it was. Comes back in the direction of Phillips. His handball missed a target chance here for a Dan kick off the ground by Bond. Keel, with experience, comes out to meet it. Wasn't able to pick it up. Strong tackle late. Will that be holding the ball? Umpire says no. I reckon I could run faster than this umpire, Sam Young.
Roger Legrand wants go back. Into time.
Nah, to be fair, I could.
Roger Legrand. As we sit on our comfortable chairs up here in the box. But the Sebastopol defence has just been so good. Redan's forwards can't get any space.
Hutt against Bond. Hutt wins this one down. Picked up there by Wilkinson, who just handballed to the voice of Toby Hutt, who just professionally fumbles it out of bounds.
Was that a disguised kind of handball? Yeah, I don't know.
It was certainly straight to the line, and it was fortunate there was a player in the vicinity, let's put it that way. But we'll get a ball in deep in the left forward pocket for Dan, right in front of the electronic scoreboard, thanks to Metro that reads Sebastopol 3-3-21 to the Lions 1-2-8. We'll get the ball in with Bond and Hutt. Big fist by Toby Hutt will clear D50 for the bouncing ball. Fletcher, first to react, didn't get to the first time, couldn't the second. Picked up there by Clark. He retreats to a teammate in McLean. Spun 360. Ball comes out. Right foot kick. Bond against the keel. And he's always too big. The giraffe plucked it out of the vines and pulls it down.
We just saw both sides of Taj Bond then. In a boundary throw-in, he had to wrestle. He couldn't jump, and he was beaten badly because he's just so light. But then we saw the good side of him where it was sat on his head. He could get a run-up and just use that athleticism. He's already so much taller than Keeley, plus he's so much more athletic, was able to go up and mark it up above his head.
So for a big fella, he does this actually pretty well in front of the big sticks. Taj Bond laying up for goal number 12 for the season. Starts his approach. The rifle kicks on its way, and it never looked like missing. Welcome back to big fella Taj. And Redan have their second of the afternoon, 2-2-14 on the Metro scoreboard, 3-3-21.
Can I ask you a question, Brad McGowan, in terms of rotations from a coaching point of view? I reckon they timed that rotation really poor, because what it left was Taj Bond up against Luke Keel.
Yeah.
At that very moment he took that mark, Little Hales was about... He was looking for the rotation, but it left, 183 centimetre Keel against 200 centimetre Bond by himself inside 50.
Yeah.
I know you can't always control when it happens, but that like a particularly poor look.
Well, that's right, and he also, he rotated forward out of the ruck. So Sebastopol they had other tall defenders down there. They just could have changed it over themselves, but didn't.
Hutt against Madden, picked up there by Cassidy in this time. And he's locked up for an immediate restart with the ball up. 7 points of margin, thanks to Metro, Brad McGowan.
Well, that's just the other thing that Jay Conley's doing there. His tackling is so good. So he stopped 3 clearances from Sebastopol because of his intense tackling.
And that's a throw from Toby Hutt to get out of the air. And Cassidy couldn't come away with it, so he's going to come back the way. Free kick will go the way of Madden. In the middle of the beautiful City Oval. He'll go out towards the outer side. Breaking from stoppage was Bond of the Daniel variety. He marks 60 from goal. Wheeling up with Brother Taj. He looks into the pocket to his leading lane. In the end, he goes to Lockie instead. And did he push? Yes, he did. It's a double action that's cost him. It's a game of fine margins.
Jeez.
Free kick to Luke Phillips and Sebastopol with the reprieve.
Doesn't get paid very often.
If I'm Bond, I'm saying I push one arm in his side. There was no 2 arms to that. I reckon he's very, very stiff. But, we are 150 metres away, so we can't tell as Cassidy clears the ball from defensive 50 for Sebastopol. Goes up the wing in the direction of Edwards. Wasn't able to mark. Ball went to ground to Banbury. Isn't that a beautiful kick? Long inside 50 and hits a teammate on the chest with a 60-metre kick. Magnificent play from Jack Banbury, and the Borough are going to line up. I think it's McDonald, it is, from about 12 metres out from goal on the slightest of angles.
Just because of the run and carry by Sebastopol, they were able to get the ball over the back, which just meant, as you said, that McDonald was able to mark the ball unopposed.
So he's found a knack in recent weeks of hitting the score sheet, has James McDonald. Already has 1 this afternoon. Put that down for 2. Sebastopol have their 4th. They go to 4 goals, 3-27. Redan 2-2-14. We've played 25 minutes in the first quarter on the Metro scoreboard.
The modern footy media talks a lot about handball versus kicking, and for me, it's kick and mark out of the back line, and then once you get out of the back third, then you're looking to kick and then handball after that. That allows you to run that extra 10 metres and kick over the proactively positioned defenders. That's exactly what Sebastopol did then. Handball, run and carry, float it, and that meant that McDonald was all by himself.
And again, it's a kick from the far side going to the fat side, which is on the broadcast side. And our position, as you said so well, was Brad McGowan said, and there was an easy mark on the chest from a great kick from Banbury. So Borough get that buffer back on the scoreboard. We're off and running again with Madden against Hutt. We've Hutt the tap. And Cassidy with the handball will find Medwell. He'll go retreat to Ben Hutt. Looking for Toby. Mortlock broke things up with the hand for Redan. Medwell kept running for Sebastopol. Over to Banbury. Now an opportunity for Fletcher. He might just ping the ears back from 50. Line up the goal and missed to the near side. 1-2 for his afternoon now. As 4-4-28 the Metro scoreboard. Sebastopol lead Redan 2-2-14.
That's the first time that Sebastopol have come out of a centre clearance and looked pretty dangerous. Redan have been able to curtail them pretty well, but not that time. You don't want Sebastopol to get too many of them because they're starting to look pretty ominous.
Lawson brings the ball back into play for Redan with a booming right foot kick. Must have gone 60 metres in the end. Tackle fly. Mortlock wasn't able to mark and tackled, and the ball goes to ground. Might cross down to Tristan Ashmore for an update from the interchange benches.
Benches are all fine from here down, Rog.
So no clean bill of health. Of course, we had Phillips who got the head taped, but he's back out there playing head-to-head against Lockie Bond inside the fence for Sebas. Right from running here, just need taking side swing for the Borough. Ball at ground level, tough to win. Imminent reball up is the result, which will be a pretty free-flowing game, which is a nice reprieve after what's been some wet, wintry weeks in the last few weeks here in Ballarat. So enjoying fast-flowing footy here at the City Oval. We'll go once again with Hutt against Madden. Been a good tussle, jostle even. Opportunity at ground level. Conley couldn't quite extract. Diving in there was Banbury. And Beast or Honeypot stuff sort of stuff. Eventually does emerge from it. Handball in the Clark direction was a hot footy. Anderson good below his knees. Retrieved it to a voice. It wasn't a teammate though. And maybe hacked off the deck here by Redan, the centre half forward. It's going to be a dangerous footy for Sebastopol to work through. But with a fumble, he retreats into the corridor. Now Redan queue up. Carroll lowers the eyes, goes to full forward. Big fly from Bowen. He's out in his hand, but he didn't touch the footy. Little Hales took the prior position. Bond, he almost just fired him in the noggin.
Yeah,
good umpiring. Had to be a free kick.
It was, and it was the proactive positioning by Little Hales to start in front and on the inside, forced charge to the outside, made him have to do an unrealistic attempt.
I'm loving this move of Tony Lockyer and Shane Snipson to put Little Hales behind the footy. He's certainly looking very good as Stewart misses the target. Fortunately for him, Toby Hutt was up to the task. There's a little scuffle on behind play involving Lockie Rokebrand. As the play goes past that scuffle, the mark taken by Joel Edwards. Now, Edwards is a long way from goal. A little bit happening off the ball. You keep an eye on that for me, Brad McGowan, as Edwards looks for a teammate in Hutt. Wasn't able to find him. Ball comes to ground. Young Anderson goes in, tackled strongly. Ball goes long towards the goal square for the Borough. Foot race is on into the forward pocket. Redan with the numbers now. Picked up by Bushell and able to clear for Redan.
They cleared the outside, but it's going to come back with inches. It'll be a lasso free kick. It's Fletcher on that far side being a real dangerous winger at times here. Got to the fat side again and almost impacted the contest. And Redan concede the lasso free kick, and Sebas pounded towards full forward. Looking for Edwards! Wasn't paid the mark. Did everything but paid. I thought he had enough of it personally. And we'll get a stoppage inside forward 50.
Definitely hit the ground.
Yeah. So certainly had the first couple of taps and the ball hit the ground. Now Lockie McLean for Redan has gone forward and Jacob Wilkinson's gone to him. It was them having the scuffle. I thought Wilkinson for Sebas threw a jumper punch that got McLean in the jaw there.
There's one man I wouldn't want to wrestle with. There's Wilkinson as the ball comes out in the direction. Strong tackle laid on the Sebastopol player there, and the Redan get around their teammates. It was Pope that laid it in terms of good on you for that physicality, Brody Pope. Missed the earlier part of the season with some injury to his arm as a result of a sore, I believe. As the umpire throws the ball in the air. Clearance will come the way of Clark. Handballs over to Carroll. Redan happy to the slow play here as it comes back to Lockie Clark. Kicks long towards 50. Goes over the head of Taj Bond, believe it or not. Ball spills to ground. Picked up by Catley, looks in forward. Great front position from Little Hales. Tapped it back to Keel, to Wilkinson. Under pressure, Sebastian Little Hales fumbled, as did Wilkinson. Umpire said no prior opportunity to be a ball up. Right in front of us here at City Oval, just inside the forward 50 for Redan.
Yeah, Redan's forwards need to get in front. The Sebastopol defenders are finding a way to be in front, and that is making it harder for Redan. But I am loving the Little Hales for Sebastopol versus Taj Bond matchup. Two athletic players, two dominant young key position players, the future of the BFL, those two.
So Medwell Sebas off the Cassidy, had to retreat in his own ball. Diving is Anderson. And in the end, it's going to be held between him and the debutant Liston, and we'll get a ball up right on 50. I feel like the final closing moments here of this term's big. If Sebas don't concede, they get a little nice buffer, and I think it's going to be a tight game going into the first break. If Redan get one, they get some momentum going into the opening break. We're inside 54, those Lions. They're against Madden, against Hutt. Madden with the tap. Cassidy with the pick-up, got off to Medwell, sidesteps superb, takes a casual bounce out back, you don't mind, finds Hutt, can I slingshot the other way? He assesses his options in the end, wants to spit it wide in the O'Shea direction, knocks it to his own advantage, able to gather, right foot kick towards the vacant half-forward line's a poor one. Minari was the target, works with the experience, gets across and seen out of bounds. We'll get a ball in.
Question of you, Brad McGowan. So Lockie Rockbrand is playing a defensive forward role on Harry Lawson. So there's been a couple of scuffles behind playing involving those two. So obviously Lawson very good when we last saw him. Shane Snipson's obviously identified. I need a cut-off supply.
Yeah, and Lawson... But Lawson's a sort of guy that just plays his role. He doesn't necessarily mark. He's just so competitive, that half-forward sort of player, in and under, crummer, occasionally mark the ball.
As the siren sounds here to signal quarter time at the City Oval, it's Sebastopol on the Metro scoreboard. 4 goals, 4-28. They lead Redan 2-2-14 and what's been a cracking opening term here at the City Oval. 2 goals to James McDonald leads the way. Jacob Fletcher, Nash Minari on the score sheets for the Borough, whilst Lockie Clark and Taj Bond is a welcome return with a goal going to quarter time. We're going to take a break here at the City Oval. Thanks to our number one to go at D2 Jim. You're listening to 3BA Footy's Home Ground.
If there's one thing we know about winter in Ballarat, it gets mighty cold. But never fear, PT and the Big Show are ready to turn up the heat with 3BA's Winter Warmers. Head to 3ba.com.au, fill in a few details, and like a heated blanket, you could be toasty warm in no time. Up for grabs, we have heaters, heated jackets, dinner vouchers, bedding, and we may even pay a winter bill for you. PT's Winter Warmers, on now.
Down there momentarily, whilst did the mopping up. Antoinette, back to Clark. That's a good finish. Albeit to Shearer in the middle of the ground, and he kept running, Clark. And the penetrating left foot kick, bouncing ball, it got out the back and it bounced favourably. Boundary throw in. Clark had front spot, won the tap. Farrugia, something out of nothing. And he breaks the shackles and gets the Blood's second goal of this final term.
Tyrrell up against Brinker-Ritchie in the centre of the ground. Brinker-Ritchie won that decisively and got straight to Morris. He could
Oh my God.
He's 70 metres out. Josh Morris has kicked the goal from 70 metres out. Straight through the middle. You won't see that too many times in your lifetime, people.
2 or 3 quick goals if they're going to set themselves up with any chance of victory.
One throws the ball in the air. Roves ball sharp by Fulton. Got the 1-2. Went from outside 50. Long shot at goal. Not quite as good as Josh Morris, but a fair effort nonetheless.
Up with an electric throw, priced from a hot $79. Best brands, best range. There's more in store at Harvey Norman, your local bedding specialist.
Toyland Wenduri has everything to keep you and your family entertained when you spend those cold winter nights at home. They have an amazing range of puzzles and games to choose from, including all the family favourites and stacks of new ones everyone will love. There's also craft, models, trains and all the accessories you need for your indoor hobby. And don't forget about the toys. Toyland Wenduri, the only locally owned, family-run, independent toy shop in town. Open 7 days at 909 Howard Street, Wenduri.
The Ballarat and District Trotting Club is the perfect venue to spend time with family and friends. Enjoy great food while the kids play in the indoor kids play area, featuring interactive games and rock climbing wall. The Flying Horse entertainment venue is open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. And don't forget, if you have an upcoming event, their function rooms are available. Bookings via ballarattrottingclub.com.au. The Ballarat and District Trotting Club. It's more than racing.
Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Live.
Towns one towards full forward into the leading lane. Always the turf, getting back in defence. Redan are desperate, but not good by hand and gone. So Jimmy McDonald will come in 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle and pop through the opener here at the City O.
Over the top to Ben Hart, goes beautiful kick.
Ash Benari directly in front for his first of the afternoon. The rifle kicks on its way. And the goalpost didn't move an inch. Yes, welcome back to 3BA's Footy's Homeground. Thanks to DTHM from Darla came to Wendouree. You're never too far from a DT. As it's Sebastopol by 14 points here on the Metro scoreboard. As we're going to cross downtown, man. Tristan Ashmore is listening to Redan's quarter-time address.
Yeah, boys, Mark, Greg and Redan identified the game would open up and it would be a grind. They knew they were fitter, though. They were happy with their tackle pressure, but stated they needed to be harder at the footy. They liked the work of the midfielders, and they loved the matchups.
Thank you very much, Tristan Ashmore was listening to Mark Gregg's quarter-time address. I'm interested in your thoughts, Brad McGowan, of that opening term, and also maybe some of the standouts for the Sporting Globe Player today from a quarter of footy.
Well, like we say most weeks with Sebas, they are like they're the number one team in the competition. They're on top of the ladder because of the aggressive way they move the ball. They haven't been able to quite switch it as much because guys like Buckley and Lockyer aren't out there. But their movement through the wings and through the middle of the ground has still been pretty impressive. And their ability to get handball receives and run has opened up their kicks inside the forward line. And certainly, for me, Sebas looked the most dangerous side. I mean, I know they do lead 4-4-28 to 2-2-14, but they look like the team that is more likely to score each time. They seem to have their forwards in front, leading up at the ball or hit up leads, and so Redan have found it hard to contain them. Whereas when Redan go in, it seems like the Sebas defenders are pretty proactively positioned, and Redan's best avenue to score is more kicking it in long, having a big contest, and then crumbing goals, which, yes, can certainly allow them to kick scores, but is it going to be enough scores to win the game with that method? I'm not sure.
So around the grounds for Go Vita, the local health store here in Ballarat, Melton 3-6-24, leads Sunbury 3-2-20. Don't have any scores from the Marsh and Darley. I know Sam Young's going to check that for me now on where I'm looking. Over at C. Brown Reserve under Jake Lohman, Lake Wendouree 139, Ballarat 4-4-28. And East Point 2 behind, North Ballarat 3 goals 10-28. Sam Young, you have managed to find a score for me from Bacchus Marsh Darley?
Yes, approaching quarter time there, Darley 2 straight 12. They lead Bacchus Marsh 5 behinds, which in a big game at home they would like to see off to a good start and give themselves a chance against the more fancy Devils, but bad kicking is bad football. And AFL scores there, Brad McGowan?
Yeah, one game underway. That is Fremantle 10-7-67, leading Port Adelaide. Yes, 6-7, Youngie. 8-6-54. So Freo by 13 points, the team that is on top of the ladder. What are we? About halfway through there.
You checked out a bit of the A-grade netball, I believe, there as well, Brad?
Yeah, went and had a quick look. It's still early on, or it's late in the first quarter, but it's early on in the game. It's 8 goals each. And we know that we heard Stacey Matthews from Redan say earlier that they're starting to get some of their players back. Redan have only won one game for the season, but she said, hey, Erin Riley's coming back as our big key defender after finishing a marathon. She looked really good. She looked like she was making it much harder for Sebas to be able to score. So Redan a chance to get an upset there today.
So 14 points to the first change here. Redan, I think they've looked threatening when they've gone forward, Brad McGowan. That's as my observation. It was probably, Sebas probably controlled territory and controlled, I guess, the better part of play. But Redan, when they got their game going, and particularly when they emerged from stoppage from Jay Conley, gee, they look so good on the outside.
And Redan are looking to switch the ball. Like they sort of seem to come out of a stoppage, and instead of going straight down the line from that side, they're switching it to the other side, which has generally worked because we can see that Sebas, halfback flanker Luke Keel, and really halfback flanker, jack of all trades, can play in midfield, whatever. He seems to be setting up down the line, often as a spare, which I wouldn't like if I was Redan to have someone of Keel's talent being a spare defender, but he seems to get himself in the way. So Redan are trying to go around him, which probably is the best way to go.
And what do you think of the forward setup for Sebas? There's 2 small forwards playing out of the goal square, McDonald and Forbes, able to set up 20 metres in front of them, and beyond that it's a fairly open 50. Is that a new thing from Sebas?
Well, it's unusual, but maybe Adam Forbes has got his way and said, everyone else get out of the way. I'm surprised he's got another player on the forward line with him there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's, I'd be saying near the 50 sort of stuff.
Edwards, get out of the way, you tall blokes. This is my space. We're
ready to go for the second term here. Sebas by 14 points on the Metro scoreboard. Hutt will resume his battle against Madden. And Watford running again with Hutt with the knockdown. Henderson on the move. Was he held without it? Umpire says yes. Well, we're going to wait to call it back. In the end, it's actually going to go the way of Redan. So maybe he said Henderson held Pope back with his jumper and wasn't repeated back himself. So bit of confusion, bit of frustration from Henderson. You could see vividly. A short ball from Pope, almost chopped off by Sebas, but good enough to make it work is Madden as he sends the high footy inside 50. Bond the target, couldn't take the mark. And in the end, ball to turf will get a ball up 40 metres out from goal.
It's not a textbook sort of delivery inside 50 there. They've ended up having to just bomb long. But again, that seems to work for Redan. They get it to ground, get a stoppage inside that forward 50.
Playing that territory game. Redan, as the hit out was won by Sebas, didn't really gain any clear advantage. Ball came back out to Pope. He hurried it on his boot in towards 50 in the direction of McLean. Snapped over his left shoulder towards the goal square. Ball will fly. Littlehouse, absolute ripping mark in the goal square defensively on the chest. That's an early contender for mark of the day from Cooper Littlehouse, and that allows Sebas to clear outside 50.
Kurt will go over the top, the sweeping hand pass. The bar. He'll continue with the hand pass. Medwell left it behind. Henderson goes back with the one-hand pick up and was collected high, and will be the beneficiary of that high contact and the free kick for Sebas.
Strong tackle again from Jake Conley.
Redan had their chances though. They could have used those turnovers, were unable to.
Cassidy spearing pass. Mason unable to mark at full stretch. Hutt around the body, clever, just in between two teammates though. Mortlock gave it off to a stationary target. High ball, did he go 15? Mason back with courage, almost took the mark. Opportunity at ground level for Henderson to Liam Mason. He couldn't quite gather. Ping pongs between a couple. Hard for it to be won in the middle of the City Oval. In the end, the umpire says, give it to me.
Boys, Joel Edwards just come off pretty ginger. I'll keep you updated.
So Joel Edwards, key forward for Sebas. He would be a big loss.
That small forward line would become even more important, I would have thought, as the umpires found another free. Seems to be a lot of free kicks in this ruck contest.
It's a lottery at the minute, though.
And Madden will be the recipient from Redan. He's in the centre of the ground. He kind of looks for a handball going past him, but in the end, there's nothing there. So kicks long and wide and finds a teammate in Callio.
Should have used the overlap handball then.
He should have. So Callio plays on, kicks inside 50. Good defensive work from Phillips, was able to punch the ball down. Connolly picked up from 50 metres out. Jake Connolly goes for goal! He's hit the post!
It was always tracking towards the post. We're just hoping it would hook left.
Redan 2-3-15, Sebastopol 4-4-28, Metro scoreboard.
Well, I tell you, he's the early favourite for the Sporting Globe player today, is Jake Conley. He's been everywhere for Redan. He might trade Brad McGowan the voucher for an A+. But anyway, back with the action here. Keel with a kick out. We'll go to the outer side. Should find Stewart. Didn't take the mark, but good enough to continue on in the end. Right foot kick down the line as the Borough look to go end-to-end with a nice pass. O'Shea takes the mark. Now he heads inside. Hutt always the link-up man. Toby takes it. He marks. He plays on. He goes inside 50, and he looks for Minari. He couldn't hang on. Redan get numbers back. Lawson, that man. Piercing ball out to the broadcast side. And hey, Callio's out here. He can take a bounce. Handball. He can think about a second, Callio. One on a third. He decides to run, pound it, and look for the giraffe in Bond! End-to-end stuff from the Lions. And all good things end with a Bond at the end of it.
Gee, I thought Callio should have given the handball to Brodie Pope, because I thought Brodie Pope in midfielder, he was running, calling for the ball, a senior player, but Callio was actually so fast.
It was quite the kick too, wasn't
his kick was perfect, so I stand corrected. Well done, Callio. Good kick.
Beautifully called by Sam Young. So Taj Bond, he's on a fairly acute angle. He'll probably kick this from about 35 to 40 metres out. Leans back on that one and just comes a bit shallow. Misses to the left-hand side. Redan go to 2-4-16. Sebastopol 4-4-28. 4 minutes played in the second quarter on the Metro scoreboard.
It's hard to believe that 8 weeks ago when he broke his foot that he's moving as well as he is. It looks like he hasn't missed a beat at all as Taj Bond. As Sebastopol goes short to the pocket on the outer side. Hutt will go over the top to the sweeping man, which would be Luke Keel. Take a bounce and half back on the outside for Sebas and look to go to centre wing in the leading target. Nice mark by McDonald, who playing a bit deeper forward and moving well with a couple of goals. He'll turn around, he'll lower the eyes, and look for Mason. Nice strong hands from Liam.
Yeah, he's a fantastic overhead mark, Liam Mason. Once he gets the ball in front of him, he uses his body well.
He's looking to palm it off. He goes quickly, and in the end, high ball right to the line. Grant and Minari wrestle. Way down was Fletcher. Almost with a snap and goal. Ball live, top of the square. Danger signs. Getting back some words off the Barker on his natural left side. He'll pound it out at 50. Tough ball to Mark. Brought to ground neutrally there by McKay against Stewart. He got boots the ball only as far as Clark. Handball over the top to Daniel Bond of Redan. And he just bounced off the whippy tackle at Keel. Stewart dived in, broke things up. Nice hard-hitting contest. All fair and love and war on centre wing. We'll get a ball up.
Yeah, not too many people knock Luke Keel on their backside, but Daniel Bond just did that right there.
It was brilliant stuff from Bond. So the ball is right in front of a large crowd here at City Oval grandstand side of the ground. It's going to be Madden up against Hutt. Neither clearly won that out. Ball came down the back to the young man from Redan in Mason. Ball went forward, picked up at the back by Keel. For Sebas got a handball over to the mummified Phillips, who went on to Stewart. I've enjoyed his game this afternoon. Goes long up the line. Bodie Pope able to get back and take a strong mark for Redan.
So Luke Keel for Sebas is still the spare sitting in that hole and was able to influence. He's still there. That's why Brody Pope's got to change the angle here.
And he'll go back to Catley, who wanted to be better in his last kick there. 45-metre banana down the line is always a risky one in my book. That one's good. Finds Bailey McKay. 75 from goal. He looks long. He wants to get it to Big Targe. Well, a bit shallow with the entry. Pittard couldn't take the mark. Ball, it's the turf. And in the end, legged. Contact below the knees is actually the free kick. It's going to go the way of Bond. So going for the footy first was Keel, and the contact was low. I mean, Tristan Ashmore had a good view of it. Was the contact there and warranted?
Yeah, but the Sebas players just are struggling with the sun. It's going directly in their eyes. Have you got any of those Lucas visors you can bring down for us?
Wow. Oh. Boom, boom.
Now, Taj Bond needs to kick this. Redan have looked at the better side for the last 5 minutes. They're just not making the most of opportunities.
Visor acquired. It's coming the goal there is Taj Bond. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. Right foot kicks on its way. Does it well. He's got his second. And we're back to a 6-point ball game here at the City Oval on the Metro scoreboard.
Now, what are they talking about, Youngie? We know you are the president of the Lucas Cricket Club. Are you in charge of merchandise as well, are you?
No, but apparently, no. The new visors dropped this week, so a little tidbit there all over the socials. And yes, the ladies can't wait to wear them every week on Friday nights.
Get onto the Lucas Facebook page if you're interested.
Yep, Sam Young is the man when it comes to all things merchandise. Green, black, green, whatever it might be.
Lucas Cricket Club.
75 hats.
The hat in every colour for Lucas Cricket Club. Don't you worry about that, ladies and gents. As the umpire comes in to throw the ball in the air. Hart wins this one down. Redan have been really good in their clearances of late. And they wanted to hit out that time. They weren't able to go anywhere with it. Brody Pope grabbed it quickly. So they're doing well in there, aren't they, Brad McGowan?
Yeah, they're just starting to wrestle back a bit of ascendancy here, Redan, and probably should be even. Like they've had the similar sort of inside 50, just haven't been able to make the most of it. So back into the game.
So that grunt work of Madden is making a difference. He's
Yeah.
not a tall man by any stretch. He's probably 6'2", 6'3", but he just uses his experience and his body so well, and he's making life difficult for Toby Hutt. Although Toby Hutt, I must say, has been good around the ground. A bit happening off the ball here between Rockbrand and Lawson continuing. Madden just grabbed the ball out of the ruck. He was able to get a handball. Umpire said that's okay, and it will be another ball up in the middle of the ground.
But like what Lawson's trying to do, they're getting the move through to stoppage, Brad McGowan, to give them someone missing Gunser on the outside. They really do, from the stoppage, they're getting in at ground level, but they haven't been able to explode from stoppage as well as they would like.
I agree. It's certainly pretty different players, though. Gunser's such an elite ball user. Lawson is a bash and crash tough bloke.
And some nice tackle there will hold things up for about a third or fourth repeat stoppage in the middle of the City Oval in a real arm wrestle here between Redan and Sebas. It's the Borough by 6 points on the Metro scoreboard. We'll go again with Hutt and Madden. Madden wins it down. Banbury dives in, collected high, I thought. Umpire agrees, free kick the way of Sebas. So Jack Banbury been at his usual best and goes inside 50 looking for Minari. Too tall for him, ball is to turf. And we'll get a ball in as Donald goes to the ground from slight contact, and Minari goes to the ground from some slight contact. So a bit of flopping inside forward 50, it has to be said. And we'll get a ball in deep in the right forward pocket for the Borough.
So plenty happening just off and around the footy. Minari not happy with the attention he got. Sean Mason comes in to lay a bit of a bump. Umpire says just throw the ball in and get it underway, gentlemen, as Boundary umpire does just that. Toby Hart grabbed it out of the ruck, wasn't able to get it to boot. The ball went to ground. So there seems to be a lot more numbers around stoppage at the moment. Henderson in there and a strong tackle. Another little scuffle on behind play involving Lawson. Manari's in it as well. The umpire says, fellas, I'm going to umpire the footy. You can wrestle as much as you like.
There's certainly no room around the stoppage, just not a lot of space, so neither team are able to get much, or get any movement outside of it once they win the contested ball, as we get a secondary stoppage again there. They just need to start that little bit further away. But it is interesting that the intense pressure that Lawson is getting, Lawson's getting quite sick of it, and it's borderline over the top. I think the umpires do need to keep an eye on it. It's not necessarily Lawson's fault.
Back on the way inside 50, Hutt with the tap, coming through at the stoppage was Bambury, and he ran in and kicked a wonderful goal from stoppage, it has to be said. A clever tap to the corridor, and he broke through.
And it's on.
Lawson was going to snap, and it did just happen. Lawson was standing hands on his knees, and as he did that, a different Sebas player came through.
Young Anderson, I think, yeah.
He knocked him over, and Lawson said, I've had enough. All right, went and grabbed him, threw him to the ground. That's why this scuffle's happened. I think it's fair enough. I think the umpire actually needed to step in and help Lawson out there, because he was just hit off the ball so many times that eventually he cracked.
I'll give it a 9.5 on my judge's scorecard.
And look who ran down from the halfback flank to find himself in the scuffle there. Sam Young, Jacob Wilkinson.
Yeah, just remind me who's the big dog, the alpha, if you will. As Sebastian moved to 5-4-34 on the Metro scoreboard. Redan 3-4-22 trail here at the City Oval.
You would love him on your side, though. Let's be serious.
Absolutely.
I would love to have someone like Jacob Wilkinson backing him up in a scuffle like that as the play gets back underway in the middle of the ground. A bit of feeling creeping in here at City Oval. Hutt tried to grab out of the ruck, wasn't able to do so, went back in and fumbled. Looked like almost a throw. It didn't make any difference, though, because Mortlock grabbed the footy, kicked it forward. Was that a mark to McLean? Umpire said, no, I thought he had everything of it, and they're able to clean up, in this case, through Phillips. He kicks the ball back in the direction, and Bushell takes the mark on the wing.
And he goes towards half forward, and again, the Bond of the Taj variety. He's just too big.
Yeah, look, I don't like where Bond ends up marking the ball each time. He seems to go very, very wide, so he gets a lot of space. But he does get a one-on-one in that occasion, and he's winning every one-on-one. It's just that he's now having to have a shot 50 metres out on the boundary.
Like, Luke Phillips is doing a wonderful job on Lockie Bond. Lil Hales started okay on Taj, but Taj is getting off the chain a bit here, and it's marked again inside forward 50. Now, this is going to be a big kick. Tuck up against the boundary line, probably strike for about 52. He'll have to hit it neatly. He'll have to hit it strongly, and he tries to hit it accurately. In the end, he steers through for a minor score. 3-5-23 on the Metro scoreboard, the 5-4-34. Sebas leading the way, but Redan continue to muster a very good challenge here on their home turf.
I wonder whether Bond can just hang on to the lead a bit longer and try and stay closer to goal.
Banbury kicks goals at one end and then goes and takes the kick out at the other. Such is his versatility, and he's found Toby Hutt, who kicks it short to Ben Hutt. They're still in their defensive 50, around 40 metres out from the Redan goal, and in the end, Ben Hutt elects to kick it in the direction of Felix Henderson. Great mark over the back. Wasn't a push in the back? I don't think so. And Daniel Bond, who's been quite prominent for Redan this afternoon, takes the mark. So Daniel Bond will look to get that ball back inside 50, and he does with a long kick in the direction of Taj Bond. Found himself second up in that contest, ball spilled towards the boundary, and able to keep it in where Sebas, strangely enough, no boundary umpire said, it just trickled over the line. It'll be a ball up in the Redan forward line, about 35 metres out from goal.
Just a word down here, boys. Joel Fletcher, it's not 100% ruled out, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him, of course. Hasn't returned after going down early in the term with Joel Edwards, and we'll go once again inside forward 50. Hutt with the knockdown. Ball still alive inside 50 where Redan would like it. And in the end, we'll get another ball up 35 metres out from goal.
So, to be honest, since Joel Edwards, the centre forward for Sebas, has gone off, Sebas haven't had the ball in their forward line very much. He is a pretty important player, but he's probably the sort of guy you wouldn't take many risks with.
They did mention it was a concussion test.
So ball straight in from that boundary throw, and there must be 25 players surrounded around. Toby Hutt, playing like a robot, so they went in and tried to pick it up, wasn't able to do so. Hurry kick back from Redan towards the goal square. McLean leads in the race of the ball. Phillips is right on his hammer. Bond goes in. That's Lachlan able to pick it up. Ball spills towards the boundary line. It'll be another throw in. So the other question here is Brad McGowan. Look at the position that Redan Ruckman and Will Madden has set up. He's a kick behind play, almost unopposed on that 50-metre line.
Yeah, so just set up, trying to keep the ball in because it's his forward 50, so Tajbon takes the ruck inside forward 50, allows the ruck to set up.
Hutt took it out of the air, handball in the direction of, well, teammate, it was Anderson. Conley came through, outside the boot, right foot kicks it right to the line. In the end, Sebas with the defence, keep it alive. Hacked off the deck there by Lockie Bond in the pocket, out of bounds it goes. Just didn't have enough on the kick. It was bending, but very hard to screw punt one there. Contest from 40 to be fair. We'll get another ball in.
So Redan coach Mark Gregg would be just thinking, how can I make sure I've got as much talent close to goal as possible? Redan have all the ball inside their forward half. They've got to make the most of these opportunities.
Toby Hutt won the hit out. High tackle laid on the Sebas player running through there, and it's going to go their way. A free kick to Sebas. They're about 25, 30 metres from the Redan goal. The kick comes out in the direction of Anderson and Toby Hutt. Good spoil by Catley. Anderson was taken high. Umpire said no. Toby Hutt got a handball over to Hommelhoff back in the sides though, who handballed it on to Minari. Minari kicks inside 50. Forbes there. McDonald also as well. Strong tackle laid by Lang. It'll be a throw-in about 20 metres around from the Sebas goal.
He almost kicked the air of the footy the way he contacted that one. A real sack of an entry inside forward 50.
He made it half a Zach Lang to mark and he just fumbled it, and then was able to follow up with a good tackle to cause the throw-in.
So deep inside 50 for the Borough. Last goal came from stoppage from something like this. Little Hale's doing the ruck work. Wirtz coming through. He's collected high. Umpire says no. We'll get another repeat stoppage inside 50. 16.5 minutes gone. Second term. Sebas 5-4-34 on the Metro scoreboard. Lead Redan 3-5-23. Little Hale's inside 50 in the ruck against Madden. Madden tried to take it out of the air. In the end, comes away with the clearance, does Will. And he pounds it out D50 down the line. Wilkinson couldn't complete the mark. Handball was good by Phillips on the ground in the direction of Anderson, who followed up nicely with a big tackle and locks up Bond. And that's something you want to see from a guy in his fourth game. He light frame, but tough by nature. He's been very good as Wiley Anderson on this centre wing of the broadcast side. We'll get the ball up.
Important for Redan to maintain the ball up on the wing there, not allow the ball to go back inside the Sebas forward line.
So Madden and Little Howes. Ball came back to Banbury onto Anderson. Like some of the things he's done this afternoon. Got another handball over the direction of Ben Hutt. Back to Cassidy. Back to Anderson, the youngster. Yeah. Fourth game, round one player on his left boot. Kicks inside 50 Words. Strong mark in front of Henderson, the veteran. We had him on the 3BA commentary pre-game, did Jacob Wirtz, and impressed with that mark, and he finds a teammate out in the wing in Jacob Catley.
So Catley with the defence side, centre wing on the broadcast side. Wheels around. Right foot kick down the line. Back. Umpire's going to pay a mark or free kick. Either way, we'll go Little Hales against Madden, who just had a better position from the kick. Take it. Defensive side of centre wing for him now. As we know, Sebas don't like to go down the line, but that's what they're forced to do. Minari caught behind against Barker. Bullets to turf out the back. Mawson will pick it up. Sell a bit of foot candy. Looks to retreat. Composure was good. Nice pass found Brody Pope. Playing to the footy as always. Just a real accumulator as he goes short to Wirtz. Should get the 1-2, but Wirtz decides instead to spin it wide with a kick. Redan looked to access the outer side from our broadcast position with ball in hand and hold things up. Forced to pump it down the lines, an ugly, awkward sort of kick at the bootlace to the intended target. And that's off a bootlace. Well, it's kept alive in the end by now Henderson. Little foot candy. Handball at the top, set a bit of a task. And Wirtz is able to work the special player over the line, run for our man Tristan Ashmore as we'll get a ball in.
Almost got my first touch there.
You might get an update on Joel Edwards. So just confirming, we haven't seen him on the ground for the best part of this quarter. Is he sitting, standing? What's the word down there, Tristan?
He's sitting on the bench. I just had a word to one of the assistant coaches. They just said he wasn't comfortable.
There you go. We'll keep you updated at home as the ball comes back into play. Ball comes to ground. Cassidy. A handball away to a teammate in Little Hales. He fumbled, allowed Redan to come in. Another strong tackle by that youngster, Wiley Anderson. Gosh, he's been good around the footy this afternoon. He's about to get the free kick, take advantage. It was Banbury. He ran away and then fumbled it, which allowed the youngster and Henry Liston to come through for Redan. Kicks long towards the goal square, and Tajbon marks it again. So this time he's opposed to Luke Phillips, while Little Hales does the ruck. He was just able to use the body there, Brad McGowan, and take a contested mark.
Fantastic, mate. Is it Tajbon or is it Lockie Bond?
Lockie Bond.
It is Lockie Bond, actually. Yep. It's one of the Bonds, one of the three, one of the Bond trios. There's always one of the mark inside 50, and as you said, a far better position to have a shot on goal.
So Bond of the Lockie variety will start his first shot at the goals for the afternoon. comes in from about 30 metres out. Rifle kicks on its way. He did get very close to the man the mark, but it didn't matter. He got to get through the big sticks. He's on the score sheet. And we're going to move to 4-5-29 on the Metro scoreboard. Sebastopol's 5-4-34 with my abacus. I can make that a 5-point margin here. Yeah. And Redan still in the hunt as we into time on Brad McGowan.
Well, a bit of a nightmare for Banbury there running. He took a bounce and the ball just did not come back up.
Yeah, it's that wet surface on that side that Tristan Ashmore has highlighted a couple of times. It's a little bit damp and it just, as you said, it just stuck and plugged and then it cost him.
It meant that he overran the ball, which then just allowed a Redan player to come in and pick it up. Quick kick inside 50, a 2-on-1, mind you, but just the kick was perfect. The bomber able to take the mark.
Ball thrown in the air. Taj Bond went to pick it up, handballed into no one. Ball came back to Grant Cassidy, was tackled. It'll be a ball up. So Sean Mason really has an important role now for Sebastopol, doesn't he, Brad McGowan, with the absence of Edwards?
He does. Liam Mason,
Liam Mason, yep.
Yes, I agree. And you might hear in the effects, Mike, the old Redan drums
He's
are going
not
in
back.
the background.
He's not back.
I think he's back.
He's down from Queensland again. Unbelievable. Back on the way here at the City Oval. Hutt on hands and knees. Handball off to Medwell for Sebastopol. He shakes and bakes his way through a tackle. Rifle kick towards the outer side. Well, this one plugged. It sort of does the Banbury. He tucks it under the arm again with no fear from Jack Banbury. Lace out to Minari. Just couldn't hang on. Second bite of the cherry. Handball, was he gone? Umpire put the whistle away altogether. And in the end, to the displeasure of the Redan faithful, we'll get a ball up.
Gosh, I reckon he was lucky there.
It was almost a mark, but then he took up, certainly had prior opportunity, then missed the ball totally as he went to handball. Should have been holding the ball.
So Sebastopol pressing inside their own forward 50. Taj Bond doing the ruck work. Banbury goes in for Sebastopol, picks it up from outside 50, kicks long towards the goal square. Barker's back by himself. Didn't mark the ball. Ball came to Grant Catley, tried to pick it up. That man Forbes gives it, don't argue. Able to snap on his right foot. Put it, but he could, and he did. Adam Forbes' first for the afternoon. He just makes something out of nothing. It's almost like he makes it more difficult for himself before he eventually kicks the goal.
He didn't quite get the disco dance shoes on to get away from the whoopie tackler, but he certainly certainly put the don't argue out, and even being spun almost 180, Brad McGowan knows where the goals are.
Yeah, just a wonderful small forward. Like, small forwards are so exciting to watch because we all get excited when forward goes near because we think he's a chance to kick a goal. Just knows his way around. It hasn't had much influence at all so far today, but hey, one kick, one goal.
6-4-40 Sebastopol, 4-5-29 on the Metro scoreboard. 22 minutes gone in the second quarter.
And 30 goals for the season now for Adam Forbes. I reckon 29 of them at least have been highlights. So we're back on the way here. Hutt against Bond, and neither I can really come away with them, so we'll get a ball up.
Maybe that YouTube channel needs to have a quarter-by-quarter kind of section now, given how many we've seen for the year.
Kelly, take our advice. We'll go back on the way here in the middle of the beautiful City Oval. One down by Hutt. Pittard coming up the squares, wrapped up immediately there by O'Shea. Another stoppage is the result. And umpire will just await to express some oxygen from the contest, and we'll go once again. Hutt and Bond. Bond with the tap. Conley coming through. Somehow emerges with it. Looks left, looks right. Decides to pound it inside 50. Lace out! What a kick! Taken there by Callio.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's not going to be playing at this level for all that long.
Oh, no, he is not.
That's a beautiful kick.
Yeah. Callio, just a nice mark who's been a promising target this season for Redan.
Well, as we say, Redan just have so much youth. If they can keep this group together for 3 or 4 years, they are going to be incredibly dangerous.
Game 10 this season in the seniors for Callio, and he'll line up with the right foot kick as he steps just inside 50. Another missed opportunity for Redan. 4-6-30 now on the Metro scoreboard. They trail us about 6-4-40.
Yeah, long shots usually lead to long points, and that's what's been happening the last couple of long shots on goal.
So Luke Hill plays on from full-back for Sebastopol. Kicks up in direction.
That is late. That is definitely a free kick. He may be concussed, so...
Lockie Clark, I'm pretty sure that was from Redan.
Oh, no.
Clark's got up.
Oh,
Minari's still down.
So Minari flew. He was always too late. The second he left the ground and jumped in the air, turned his body to the side and elected to bump, he was always going to be late. The hit was... Who was it that went down?
Clark.
Yeah. So Clark has got to his feet. There's no 50? What?
So Clark...
Well, I don't think he'd marked it.
Goes long inside 50. Bond of the Taj variety, and he somehow plucked it again.
Fantastic. So Roger, if he had have marked the ball and
Then he
then was
would
hit
have got
late,
50, yeah.
definitely 50. Because the mark wasn't taken, all he could get was a free kick.
Now, can the big fella work this one out? He went drop punt from a similar angle, a bit further out, so maybe didn't think he could go with the screw punt. It looks like he's going to set up drop punt again, which is sort of against the modern trend these days.
I tell you what, he's taking over that forward line.
I would have to say it's marked 5 or 6 inside 50, Brad McGowan, which is a big afternoon for the big man from Redan. His name is Sarge Bonds, and he's missed across the face. I'll put him down for 2-3 for the afternoon now. Redan, 4 goals, 7:31 on the Metro scoreboard. It's about 6-4-40.
That was a more difficult shot, though. Anyway, look, he's marking the ball whenever he gets an opportunity. He's fantastic, exciting player.
Keel comes in short to Toby Hutt, around 20 metres from the Redan goal. He plays on, looking in the direction of Liam Mason. Wasn't able to mark. Anderson went in for Sebastopol, wasn't able to pick it up, and it'll be another ball up. So, Brad McGowan, question for you. So, one of the question marks we have on Sebastopol as this season has gone on is around those key defensive posts.
Yeah.
Is Taj Bond exposing that today?
Well, he is, but you would have thought Little Hales was the one to play on him because he has a similar sort of athletic profile. But, yeah, I would say certainly Redan making them look dangerous today.
Redan looks to go to half forward here. Cassidy with the tackle holds things up for Sebas. We'll get another repeat stoppage. And I'm starting to get into that radical territory potentially, thinking, like, do you have to go to someone like Toby Hutt? It's the only one with size to get down there. Maybe it's a spare at times to just bring the ball to ground.
The thing is that Sebas actually just need to start winning the ball at the source a bit more. Redan have just had the ball in their forward half nearly the whole quarter.
As a quick kick forward from Madden will fortuitously work out to Clark. He'll take the mark right on the 50-metre arc. It was very close between him and the boundary line. He wheels around to 50. Long right foot kick right to the goal line. And was it touched?
That's a goal.
Redan thinks it's a goal. I think it is too. Nobody touched it. And Clark's kicked the goal from 50.
So many of the Redan shots have been tough shots from the pocket, etc. Look, I'd love to have some inside 50 stats because I would have thought Redan would be around the 15 to 20 inside 50s this quarter. Sebas might have had 5 to 10. The thing is, Sebas have scored, 2 goals from their inside 50s? Whereas Redan have found it hard. They've kicked goals, but a lot of points as well. Look, Redan moved closer now within 3 points.
So if you've just joined us at home, Sebas got away to an early lead. They led by 2 goals at quarter time, but Redan have hit back this quarter. They've kicked 3 goals to Sebas's 2, and they trail by just 3 points at the 27, nearly 28-minute mark of the second quarter. Ball to be thrown in the air. Madden against Hutt. Ball went to ground. Redan have been really strong in that clearance work in this quarter. Madden just forces it onto his boot. Wasn't able to gain great territory. Umpire will come in and ball the ball up. So, Redan, I think the early prediction from Baden McGowan and Tristan Ashmore is that Redan would likely lead at half-time. It's looking very much like that at this point in time. They're coming at the rate of knots as the umpire throws the ball in the air. Madden grabs it out, and umpire's found a free kick in this occasion.
Oh, the lottery continues. You just don't know.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And a free kick is going to go Toby Hutt's way.
Like, it's gone both ways, to be fair. Like, but you just don't know which way those free kicks going to go these days. It's just an absolute lottery. As Hutt, Sebas, the beneficiary, he'll go short to Henderson. Takes the mark in the middle of the City Oval. He'll arc around to his left side. He went to a piercing lead instead, which was dangerous. Ball to turf. Well picked up by Sebas by the captain, Hutt. He goes to
Usually when the umpire stops and just leans over like that, you think he's going to ping him. The kick inside 50 was just a little bit high. Allowed Jacob Wirtz, the defender for Redan, to be able to get a spoil on it.
So an opportunity late in the quarter for the Borough. Throw up around 25 metres from their goal. Toby Hutt has been watching too much soccer because he kicked it out of the air, came in the direction of Rockbrand, wasn't able to pick it up cleanly. Redan forcing numbers back. Can they force the stoppage at this crucial stage in the second quarter? And the umpire comes in and says he will ball the ball up.
So deep in the time on, almost nearly 29 minutes played here at the City Oval. We're deep inside forward 50 for Sebas. They lead by 3 points, and a goal here would have given them some much-needed breathing space going into the major break. Hutt and the ruck will go against Madden. Ball up, 25 from goal. Hutt took it out of the air this time. Retreats back to Henderson from the boundary. Kick around the body for the miracle kick. And in the end, Sean Mason getting the spoil and seeing through for a minor score. 6-5-41 on the Metro score with the Borough. Early Redan 5-7-37.
Yeah, good just defensive work by Mason to put that one through.
So Lawson, clock ticks over 30 minutes in this second quarter. Lawson for Redan. Plays on from fullback. Kicks it outside 50 in the direction of his interchange bench. Kill in front. Ball went to Grant Pittard, who been relatively quiet this afternoon by his standards. Came back to Mason for Sebas. To Toby Hart. Wasn't able to pick it up. Connolly. Hasn't he been great this afternoon? Kicks long into 50 in the direction of Taj Bond. Taj Bond overrun it. But came back to his brother, Lockie. Snapped with the check side. And it's just gone to the left-hand side of the behind post. Jeez, I thought that was going to go through. Redan 5-8-38, Sebas 6-5-41, 31 minutes.
It looked good, but what he should have actually done is pass back to his brother Taj, who was running back towards goal, undefended. He could have waltzed in and kicked the goal.
Correct. Just tread a little bit of water and get the handball at the top, and he was off and running, but quick pick up, maybe urgency late in the turn, thought he had to get boots of ball for the whistle beats him. So I can kind of see both reasons why it happened.
If you're going to burn anyone, burn your brother, I guess.
Absolutely. He won't get him at Chris Kringle, I hope. High ball from Keel to the outer side. Redan not done. They're looking to pinch the lead going into half-time. Picked up by Kaleo. He goes out to the Pittard, and the siren does beat them. It's a short ball into... The umpire's very slow to blow his whistle to put his whistle to the mouth there, but in the end, it will be signalled for half-time here at the City Oval. What an enthralling contest we have with Redan 5-7-37 on the Metro score. We're trailing about 6-5-41. Break here at the City Oval. Thanks to our number one ticket holder, D3 Jim. You're listening to 3BA Footy's Home Ground.
3BA's Secret Sound with PT on the Big Show.
3BA, good morning.
Good morning, PT. You've got a second Megan on this morning.
Hello, Megan number 2. How's it feel to be the second?
We are taking over the world slowly.
That's fantastic. Megan number 2, what do you got for me?
My dad is guessing you're running your fingers over a box of envelopes.
Your dad is bombed out of the equation. Yeah, sorry, Megan. Thanks for the call.
Thanks to Kitchens You Build. Your home, your choice. 106 Sutton Street, Delacombe. After 8 weekday morning.
And District Trotting Club is the perfect venue to spend time.
Down there momentarily, whilst did the mopping up. And to that, back to Clark. That's a good finish. Albeit to Shearer in the middle of the ground, and he kept running, Clark. And the penetrating left foot kick. Bouncing ball, it got out the back and it bounced favourably. Boundary throw in. Clark had front spot, won the tap. Farrugia, something out of nothing. And he breaks the shackles and gets the Blood's second goal of this final term.
Tyrrell up against Brinker-Ritchie in the centre of the ground. Brinker-Ritchie won that decisively and got straight to Morris. He could
oh my God.
He's 70 metres out. Josh Morris has kicked the goal from 70 metres out. Straight through the middle. You won't see that too many times in your lifetime, people.
2 or 3 quick goals if they're going to set themselves up with any chance of victory.
One throws the ball in the air. Rhodes ball sharp by Fulton. Got the 1-2. Went from outside 50. Long shot at goal. Not quite as good as Josh Morris, but a fair effort nonetheless.
What you hear can take you far from here. It can move you to dance, to run, to tears. It's all in your ears. For advertising with the power to connect with customers in your area, start with commercial radio and audio, where brands
down there momentarily whilst did the mopping up. Antoinette back to Clark. That's a good finish, albeit to Shearer in the middle of the ground, and he kept running, Clark. And the penetrating left foot kick, bouncing ball, it got out the back and it bounced favourably. Boundary throw in. Clark had front spot, won the tap. Farrugia, something out of nothing. And he breaks the shackles and gets the Blood's second goal of this final term.
Kirill up against Brinker-Ritchie in the centre of the ground. Brinker-Ritchie won that decisively and got straight to Morris. He could kick it from here. He's 70 metres out. Oh! Josh Morris has kicked the goal from 70 metres out, straight through the middle. You won't see that too many times in your lifetime, people.
2 or 3 quick goals if they're going to set themselves up with any chance of victory.
One throws the ball in the air. Roves ball sharp by Fulton. Got the 1-2. Went from outside 50. Long shot at goal. Not quite as good as Josh Morris, but a fair effort nonetheless.
decks, fencing, gates and garden gear. They've got what you need, backed by friendly service and know-how you can trust. They'll cut it, load it and deliver it fast. Support local, build local with Ross Street Building Supplies, 3 Ross Street Ballarat, or visit discounttimber.com.au.
Home. It's more than 4 walls. It's comfort, memories, independence. At Home Caring Ballarat, we believe everyone deserves to feel safe, supported and empowered in the place they love most, their home. Locally owned and operated by Amanda Kinnaburra, a nurse with over 20 years experience, we provide compassionate, trusted care tailored to your needs, from daily support to companionship. Contact Home Caring Ballarat today and discover the difference local care makes.
For a limited time, receive price reductions equal to the luxury car tax amount on select Audi models at Audi Centre Ballarat. With impressive opportunities available, including the Q5 Sportback and Q7, now is the time to visit our showroom to find out how much you can benefit. Don't miss out. Sale ends July 31st. While stocks last. See website for T's and C's. LMCT 10285.
Harvey Norman Ballarat, your local destination for mobile phone and computer accessories. Grab a stylish laser 5K power bank available in 4 different colours for just $10. Keep your phone charged when you're on the go. Head in store now. Harvey Norman Ballarat, corner of Gillies and Howard Street.
Now it's back to McDonald's BFNL action, thanks to our #1 ticket holder, D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
Welcome back to 3BA Footy's home ground. Thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. On the Metro scoreboard at half-time, it's Sebastopol by 4 points. Leading the way over Redan, who put up quite a challenge, but there is a bit of injury news coming out of Sebastopol camp, and our man who's been all over is Tristan Ashmore. He's been able to try to get a bit of news and an update on Joel Edwards from Sebas.
Long story short, boys, Joel Edwards is out for Sebas. I was informed from an assistant coach that it was a potential concussion test, but the trainer suggested otherwise, that they weren't sure, and it was all on Joel, who walked himself off the ground, which does not suggest concussion. But Sebas now 1 interchange down and will play with 1 short in the last half.
Thank you very much. Tristan Ashmore, boundary side, doing fine work for us all afternoon. And Brad McGowan was spoken about the dynamic and inside forward 50 that's going to problem that's going to create. It obviously puts a lot of emphasis on Liam Mason to probably fill the void as the tallest man inside forward 50, but also then as well the importance on the likes of Forbes, the likes of McDonald being, I guess, I would be really proactive and be your goal kickers this afternoon to kick a winning score.
Yeah, well, normally, like Jacob Edwards is the centre-half forward that's come from St Joey's this year, and he's really been a dynamic centre-half forward that plays high up the ground, but he's that real link between the midfield and the other forwards. And that's allowed Cooper Littlehales to go to defence. So normally what you do here is you go, righto, if Joel Edwards is out, we'll swing Cooper Littlehales back to the forward line. Trouble is, Cooper Littlehales is doing... well, he's probably the one that is the most athletic and the best matchup for Taj Bond at the other end. So I don't think that Shane Snibson has the luxury to be able to make that choice, does he, boys? I think he's got to leave Littlehales at the other end, which in defence. So, yeah, Liam Mason is still a young key forward. I mean, he's 19. He's trying to make his way in the competition. He does play a little bit like Edwards as the centre-half forward, but he's not at the same level yet. So that's a real challenge for Sebas. Maybe they'll need to, my suggestion would be they'll need to switch the ball more. And if I'm Shane Snibson, I'm pretty sure I'd be saying, hey, we're not switching the ball anywhere near as much as we normally do to be able to go around any spare defenders. And the reason they're not doing that is because their coach and halfback flanker, Tony Lockyer, is not out there, and neither is Jack Buckley. Those two are their best sort of attacking defenders that create that run. Luke Keel's been down there, he's been stopping the ball, but he hasn't necessarily been creating off halfback. So I'm expecting that Sebastopol will come out this quarter looking to change angles and move the ball in a different way to try and get the ball into their forwards in a different way as opposed to the way they've been doing, which hasn't been very effective.
Need more from Medwell and Cassidy too. I don't think they've been. I don't know we set very high benchmarks for those guys.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've had the output from those two players at halftime.
Well, I felt like Medwell for Sebas actually he started on the wing. I thought he went inside and actually played on Jake Conley in stoppages quite a bit, which you would expect. Someone like Medwell with his experience in the VFL and now hardened body would have been able to handle Jake Conley, but I still felt like Conley was getting him. getting the better of him in there. So, yep, I agree. You need a lift from those guys. And generally in the second half, the Sebast midfield generally starts to get on top. We did see Banbury use his pace so well. I thought he's probably been the best inside midfielder for Sebast. And Felix Henderson's a real second half player. When the game opens up a little bit, he's the sort of guy that he isn't as strong over the footy, but if there's a little bit of space because of the fatigue, he can use the ball, step around people. He's usually good for 10 possessions a quarter in the second half.
And he's a real link-up player as well. He's the type of guy that can get possessions across the half-forward line, and when you're trying to, you haven't necessarily got the tools to bomb it inside 50, he can be the guy who can be a little bit creative to find the footy that between that 70 and 50 metre arc, and maybe find those little pockets inside 50 for players floating inside 50.
In terms of Redan, I think they need to try and get someone like Ollie Pittard into the game a bit more. Ollie's been playing on the wing. He's so fast and dangerous on the outside of a stoppage, but he's been getting the ball probably in the inner ring of a stoppage too often. And so I wonder whether they either move him from the wing or just get him to stay 5 metres further outside, or whether you switch him to half forward. I'd probably be inclined to say, hey, go and play as a mid forward, still run wherever you like all over the ground, but just be that one handball, that one possession forward of the ball, and try and get the ball in space. He's not going to get 30 possessions. He's only going to get 10, maybe only 5 in the second half, but can he make all 5 to 10 count?
What's sort of on the flip side, that's what I was thinking maybe Sebast could do with Medwell as a bit of a talent identification thing across the half-forward line. That again, how do you change your forward line structure? Well, if he's getting the footy in those attacking perspectives with that handball received, that's where you get your damage for maximum bang for your buck, if you will. So it's interesting to see how coaches weigh it up. But just for the way to play, particularly in that term with Edwards down, Redan, I really like that. I reckon they're good money here. I really do in the second half. I know Sebast finished games well, but the Lions, youthful exuberance, big game, past Players' Day, the netball's going well, Frankie Knuckles is back. Everything's happening, it feels like, this afternoon.
See, I think this is a different Sebast side this year, and they've been challenged on a couple of occasions this year, like last week, classic example against Ballarat, again against Darley. This is the difference. This is a different Sebast to what we're used to. I think they can hold on. I think they'll stand up.
Having said that, the 3 of the players that do make a real difference to them, or 2 of the Geelong players, Edwards and Buckley aren't there, and Lockyer. So you're right, it is a different and more experienced, more confident, stronger mentally side for Sebast. Well, if they are that team, they need to show it here, because they are certainly being tested by a young team. I know it's a simple thing to say, hey, first goal's important, but I really think it is. If Redan get this goal, watch them get up and about and around each other, and this game could be well and truly in their grasp.
Yeah. If they can take the lead, I think this place will erupt. Yeah. That's the one they've got. There's been a correction on the scoreboard as well. It's 5-8. 38 on the Metro scoreboard to Redan to the 6-5-41. So an extra point has been found for the Lions. They trail by 3 at the major break. We're almost ready to go here.
I think Redan ended up losing the netball by the heads down, walking past by the Redan players. They've just got beaten.
We'll get a final score when we can from the netball. But here for the start of the second half, here's Roger Legrand.
Play to get underway. Toby Hutt versus Will Madden. Toby Hutt won it out. Cassidy overran the footy. Madden went back in to get it from Redan. Has met him with Cassidy, umpire not able to find a way out of there, and it'll be a repeat ball up. So just underway in the second half. Sebast up by 3 points. They only kicked the 2 goals in the second quarter compared to the 3 from Redan. Ball thrown up. Banbury went in. His handball put Medwell under pressure, and it's going to be another ball up inside the centre square. Hasn't really gone far from that centre circle.
Now, pretty much a third repeat stoppage to start this second half. The Borough by 3 points on the Metro scoreboard. Well, it gives the Ruckman time to nominate. Well, we thought it was pretty obvious. We'll go again. Hutwin knocked down. Quick kick there. Came from Pope. Gained about 5 metres. Henderson unable to pick it up. Tough footed he won, but he got it in the second by the cherry. Left foot kick over the top was clever. Marked by Hutt. He wants to access the corridor. Off to Cassidy. Now over to Banbury. He'll just pin the ears back and miss. He was streaming into an open goal from directly in front from 45. Would have been the perfect start from the Borough, but he missed and dragged it for a minor score.
Great spread from the stoppage from Banbury to get that far ahead of the ball. He's so fast. He was at the stoppage. As we said, Henderson already starting on his second half journey where he gets so much of the ball. But, yeah, great spread from Banbury, and then just unfortunate shot in the end there by Sebash. Probably should have kicked it.
So it'll be Harry Lawson to bring the ball back into play. He plays on and comes out grandstand side here at City Oval. Kick goes high. No one able to mark it. Redan with the crummers. Connolly takes a bounce, kicks long up half forward. Ball spilt over the back to the hands of Bailey McKay. Runs onto the footy from 35 metres out. He'll dribble it through. No, it's just bounced into the post. It looked for all money like it was a goal. Last minute took a right-hand turn and threw for a point. Margin back to 3 points, and there's going to be a 50-metre penalty. Sam Young, you might explain that one for us.
Yeah, well, the Bond was getting back to the mark, so the 15 metres out, but he was too close when Hutt played on. The umpire actually hadn't called play on, so Bond went forward, and that's why he didn't drag 50. And now Hutt just pushed him off the mark. He's gone from the middle of the ground, off the intercept. Kick the centre forward, Mason unable to mark. Sebas retreat with the hand pass in the corridor, with turn over to Madden. He goes out wide. His opposing ruckman was Hutt trying to get involved. Now it's Madden again breaking things up. He just jumps to half forward. Bouncing ball. Opportunity for Lockie Bond against Phillips. The cavalry arrives for Sebas. Wilkinson and Phillips. Now Keel to Wilkinson. Measured right foot kick was clever. Mark's taken there by Connor O'Shea, working hard to the half back line on the broadcast side.
So Connor O'Shea, he's been opposed to Pittard this afternoon. Neither has been particularly influential, but I'm sure Shane Snipson would take that as a win given Pittard's form this season. Ball comes up into the wing. It looks as if Madden might have been taken high. Umpire said no, it'll be a ball up. So right in front of a large contingent of supporters here, almost in front of Saxon House at City Oval. Toby Hutt won the hit out, went to ground. Midwell just forced the ball forward in the direction of Fletcher. He was able to get a handball onto Minari, tapped it over very cleverly in the direction of Rokebrand. He overran the footy, which allowed Redan to get back, and now their runners are out.
Kick down the line by the Lions. Too tall was Kaleo. Ball hits at turf. Keel gets back, but between his legs. Picked up by Clark. Now to Kaleo. He steps over the line. We'll get a ball in. You can probably hear through the effects, Mike. There's lots of tears and sadness from some of the faithful. It's not Tristan Ashmore. The visors are still in stock, my friend. So you can still get one, but unfortunately we'll get a ball in.
I don't think T's too much one of those visors just quite.
Just saying, there's a lot of crime coming through. It's not our man.
Redan probably wasted a couple of opportunities to go inside 50 there, as you start to hear the Redan jungle drums beating in the background.
Ball thrown back into play. Toby Hutt won out, went to ground. Pope, did he dive when an umpire said no? Geez, Madden's so good on the ground and in the air. He just kind of forced it back. In the end, it came back to Keel for Sebas. Got the ball to boot, kicked it up the line in the direction of Minari. Looked like he might have been held. Umpire said no. Ball comes back in the direction of Michelle. Was overrun by Fletcher. How's that for some wheels? Goes on to his right boot from outside 50. Kicks in the direction of a teammate in McDonald. Wirtz is claiming the mark. Umpire said you're kidding. And he'll ball the ball up.
Gee, it looked a mark to me, but yeah, great speed by Sebas there. Wirtz, the old wily defender. I thought he did take that one.
Yeah, I think Fletcher maybe had his time again. Should have just backed his leg speed down, gone from home, but beggars can't be choosers. Banbury tries to dance the line and keeps it alive. The hand pass off to Fletcher. Side step superb. Standing start. Right foot kick into the post. Well, he goes off. A minor score to Fletcher. Sebas, 6 goals, 7:43 on the Metro scoreboard. They lead Redan 5-9-39.
Posts have earned their cash today, boys.
They certainly have, T.
They might be able to buy a visor.
Hey, now we're talking.
Lawson plays on from fullback and he comes out on the grandstand side. Keel uses all his experience to work Kelly under the ball and takes the mark. Plays on quickly, goes in short, finds a teammate in Banbury. Banbury just outside 50 for Sebas.
He's getting plenty of the ball, though, Banbury.
He kicked this too.
He appeals to the umpire for the 50, for the player from Redan being too close. In the end, he goes across almost the goal and finds Mason.
Kick.
So Mason just used his body really well for a young man, kind of pushed himself away from the contest and marked it on the chest, Brad Miguel.
Yeah, protected the ball drop well, didn't he? This will be right on the edge of Liam Mason's range, but the kick by Banbury, as you said, went way off the line. There was space out there for Mason to lead into, who is sort of starting in that Edwards-type role. I think he does just have this distance within him.
It's to his natural left side too, which is a key thing, to the strong side for him. And Mason comes in for the left foot kick. It's all about distance, and the spotter's got it. Umpire, is he paid in the back? No, he's going to say it's through.
In the back.
No, it's in the back. So no goal to Sebas, and Redan survived. Short ball there from Wirtz. out of the fence, and now they got a little problem to kick at the half volley. And in the end, a stoppage the result.
So what happened there, Youngie?
So
Pushing the
Words
back on
got
the goal
pushed in
line?
the back. And look, I can understand why the umpire paid that, but I've also seen many times where they just turn a blind eye to it. So it's a 50-50.
Inside 50 for Sebas. On the move there is Fletcher coming through. Another ball up is the result. About 40 metres out, 4 points the margin thanks to Metro. It's about 6-7, 43 to 5-9-39.
It probably didn't need to push him in the back, did he? Because it was going to go through anyway.
It was very, very close. And Wirtz certainly put his hands in the air as if to say that should have been a free kick. Ball thrown in the air. Comes out to Medwell. His first kick was smothered. His second one came back at him and ended up in his hands. The umpire will ball the ball up around 35 metres from the Sebastopol goal. They kick into the Pleasant Street end here at City Oval. Mason doing the ruck work for Sebas on this occasion. Harrell able to kick the ball quickly outside 50. Came back to Callio. In the direction of McKay now. Kind of took a little bit long, and then the handball missed its target. It put Liston under pressure. Ball came back to Pope for Redan. He's the back line of the centre square. Over to Liston. His kick was a dinky little one. Didn't hit the target. And Sebas able to force a spoil over the boundary line. Almost in front of their interchange bench on the Sturt Street side of the ground.
I've liked Bailey McKay's game. He's nippy. He's around the ball with real intensity. Just probably need to drive his legs and get that ball going a bit further forward as opposed to the higher chip kick.
Yeah, real progressive type for the Lions as Madden wins it down. Coming out of stoppage again. Conley goes inside and the Lions look to spread it wide by hand. Hot foot to be won, was held without it. Umpire said yes, free kick will go the way of the Lions.
50?
50, yep.
It's McKay. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, it is McKay.
Yep. And I thought he said 50.
So did I. I think everyone thought he thought
He
50.
definitely called 50 there.
But the umpire says not 50. McKay will play on. He'll drive his legs. He'll pound at the full forward. The Bond! Big ball back from Sebastopol. It's the turf. Still alive for the Lions. Throwing the head back was Daniel Bond. His handball to full forward was more at hope than anything. Keel gets back for Sebas. He just fisted wide. Did he throw it? Umpire said no. Stewart around the body was clever. Got it to Cassidy. And the Borough survives. Piercing ball out of the fence. Leading target. Mark's taken there by Toby Hutt, half back.
Toby Hutt with ball in hand. Some nervous moments there for the Borough. Comes up the line, finds Banbury. Banbury's right in front of the Redan interchange bench. Sturt Street side of the ground here at City Oval. We've played 8 minutes in the quarter. Comes in short and finds the impressive Wiley Anderson. Plays on. His handball was a shocker. Fortunately, Banbury was up to the task. Was able to kick it inside 50. Ball spilt over the back. Redan with some foot speed there and able to clean up, kick long inside 50. Taj Bond out the lead, marked it.
Those
just
two.
outside 50 on the chest.
Yeah, again, Conley just perfect kick out in front of Bond. You just put it out in front of him and he cannot be stopped.
So Bond, he's going to palm this one off. He's looking for his brother Lockie in the pocket. Couldn't take the mark. Brought it to ground. Crashed and bashed. Ball's alive for the Lions. They retreat. Slight fumble by Liston. Now he walks into trouble. It's still alive for the Lions inside 50. Curtin's picked up in a Carroll tackle. Umpire puts Whistler mouth and throws it in the air. Bond was shooting from outside 50, just probably didn't think he had the distance, so he went quickly to the leader of Lockie Bond. He couldn't take the mark. Almost 10 minutes gone. Third term, 4-point margin inside 50 now for the Lions, trying to take the lead for the first time this afternoon. Madden in the ruck against Hutt. On the flies, Daniel Bond. Kick to the top of the square. It's a centering ball. Neither Bond can mark it. Ball hits the turf. Foot race on in earnest. Lil Howes keeps it alive, and he's driven into the turf and gone! Hold the ball, says the umpire. And shot on goal's coming up for Lockie Bond, tucked in the left forward pocket.
There is no way in any rule book in Australia that was holding the ball.
Could have been in the back.
It could have been in the back. He picked the ball up, literally had it for less than a second and was tackled, and the umpire got sucked into the crowd call. There is not a hope in Hades that was holding the ball.
The only thing that went... that you could have used is that he was definitely trying to run the ball out of bounds, so like a deliberate sort of movement. So maybe called holding the ball instead of deliberate.
Now it is a shallow pocket, and Bond thinks drop punt's my option. It's across the face, no score. Red was flying. Reckless, the Benjamin couldn't take the mark, and in the end, Hutt emerges. We'll have to keep an eye on McLean because he'll be sore. Sorry, big fly by Lawson. Unrealistic attempts. Put the old double hands on the shoulder of Roadbrank, and now 50. Roadbrank, who got in his face, and He will be taken just inside the paint and potentially in scoring distance. He wants to play on. He goes into the pocket. He's looking for McDonald. Words with the spoil. Ball into the serve. Fletcher retreats back to McDonald. Now Fletcher. Snap. Skinny off the boot.
Why did he play on?
Now,
Why didn't he take the full 50?
Yeah, should have. Now, just back to this contest, McLean is still down. He's on his knees. He's sort of half up. We know he had a concussion about 5 weeks ago. He actually did a full somersault there, landed not quite on his head, on his side. He has now got to his feet. I reckon he'll go off and get a concussion check as Redan bring the ball back into play at the other end.
So Lawson and Madden are playing kick to kick for Redan, while McLean slowly gets up to his feet. Redan will come across goal in the end, and it's that man Connolly again. He's been good this afternoon. That right boot of his is magnificent, and this time he hits a target again. He finds McKay out there. No, umpire's going to pay the mark. I thought he was going to throw the ball in there for a minute, but no, McKay is going to take the mark. He's on that back line of the centre square, right out in front of almost the Pleasant Street traffic lights. Then come backwards and find the veteran Barker. That's Nick Barker. He goes across goal dangerously, but Will Madden for Redan is up to the task. He now turns around and kicks back towards Barker. Scores the spoil. Guess who? Adam Forbes! Sorry, Kelly, he's kicked it on the full. Missed everything.
He read the cues, he broke it up, outside the boot, hit the wrong side of the ball, sent it across the face. And it was that slow kick from the ruckman out of the back line, Brad McGowan, which put your heart in your mouth sort of stuff.
But Forber was put under pressure just as he kicked it, thankfully, because he ended up missing 2 sets of goals, to be honest, with that wide.
Neither side able to get a goal in this term thus far. Played almost 13 minutes. Daniel Bond with it a half-back. A real arm wrestler, as I said. Who will crack first? Daniel Bond will go from half-back now for Redan. Looks to go towards centre half-back. In the end goes further across to Pittard. He'll play on immediately. Spirit to centre half-back. Mark's taken there by, looks like maybe Mason has taken it. Yes, it is. And he'll go out wide. And Redan maintaining possession. Carroll breaking for it on centre wing. If they can spot the little man. Puts up the 1-2. Takes the mark on true centre wing. Bert Jobson out of broadcast position. Holds it up for the Lions. Trail by 5 points on the Metro scoreboard. And maintains possession with another short ball. So slow play here from Redan in the build-up.
McLean no good on the bench. I'm looking from a distance here, and we'll get an update from Tristan Ashmore shortly, but hands in head, crouched over. Hopefully he's okay. High tackle laid on Mortlock. Should be a free kick his way for Redan. He'll take it outside 50 for Redan. He weighs up his targets. He's got big Taj Bond in the goal square, and that's where he heads. Ball goes in the air. Lockie Bond jumps in front of his brother. Nearly marked it. Umpire called play on. Ball comes to ground. Daniel Bond. Handball over to Pittard. Pittard on the right boot from the boundary line. How's that for a goal? Ollie Pittard.
Yeah.
Kicks Redan 6.
That's what we talked about with Pittard. He's a game breaker. He hasn't had any influence on the game so far until he gets the ball in a little bit of space, and he's so dangerous. He's such a good kick. Found space. Those bright yellow boots of his swung onto the right, and it never looked like missing, to be honest. He just needs to get it, and Redan need to find a way to get the ball to him more often, because he is a real avenue to goal for them.
So for the first time this afternoon, Redan are in front, 6-9-45. It's about 6-8-44 on the Metro scoreboard.
Again, Redan look the better side out here. If you didn't know Sebas were clearly on top of the ladder, you wouldn't know who was the better team coming in.
Cracking game this afternoon at the Sydney Oval. One down by Hutt in the ruck for Sebas. Conley again will come away for the Lions. Off the poke. He'll pound it inside 50. Bond will come from the back. He just couldn't hang on. Kalia right foot snap. Skinny near side. Minor score. 6-10-46 to 6-8-44. Sebas trailed by 2 points on the Metro scoreboard, and it could have been so much more.
How good is this young Redan midfield going?
So they're under the pump. The Burrow and Keel brings the ball back into play. Kicks out in the direction of Banbury. Drop what he might otherwise have taken. Pope goes back in to clean up for Redan. Kicks inside 50. Ball will fly. Henderson gets back and takes a nice mark and says, boys, let's slow the ball down.
Now, they would never kick this down the line if Tony Lockyer was in the team, but they've gone down the line pretty much all day today.
And now he goes corridor, which is dangerous. Keel was the target. He couldn't hang on. Get the ball in front of himself. Picked up there by Rockbrand, and he runs into trouble and he's gone.
And Redan love tackling him because he's been a pest to their players all day.
Points back to Harry Lawson.
Now, he grabbed Lawson after that.
Yeah, the umpire doesn't wave for 50 metres. Lawson gets some points back on the head-to-head battle there with the free kick for holding the ball. And momentum certainly in the Lions camp. It goes laterally across to the veteran Barker. Has been a little bit more patient with their build-up in this turn, both sides. And he pounds at the half forward. Wobbly kick. Henderson, nice strong hands for a little fellow there. Takes the mark against Garrell. So Henderson, he went corridor bound last time. This time he goes down the line. Kind of swung it across the body. It's actually a good kick to the advantage of the teammates. And Sebastopol have it on the outside from our broadcast position.
So McDonald with ball in hand. Kicks to a leading target. Good spoil from Lawson, and he'll force the ball over the boundary line. Might cross down to Tristan Ashmore for an update on a Redan injury or Redan concussion. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it'd be pretty safe to assume that it was a concussion test for McLean there, given his history. But I'll find out more at three-quarter time, boys. Just letting the trainers do their thing.
So ball to come back into play, almost in front of the Sebastopol bench. Mason doing the ruck work for Sebas. Wasn't able to win it out. Ball comes back to Henderson, tackled, and will be another ball up. So just Cassidy and Midwell need to get in the game, Sam Young.
Yeah, they need those couple A-grade midfielders to get involved and just get their hands on the footy. They've been at the source all afternoon from their own displeasure. Redan again, first to it. Conley again, couldn't come away with it. Stoppage the result.
And that's what it's about. It's about that first possession from the ruck. So neither ruck are really hitting clean tap-outs. The ball's just randomly falling to the inside, and it seems to be Redan that gets to it first.
Back on the way here, just attacks our centre wing for Sebas. And again, they just can't get hands to the first extract and gain territory. Like, it's since quarter time, Redan firmly, I feel like, in control of the contest. And now finally have a 2-point lead on the Metro scoreboard. Neutrally down, hacked forward. Quick kick was partially smothered by the Lions. And again, they emerged from contest. Right kick around the body was just dumped to centre wing. Bouncing ball, bit of chaos. Bond up to meet it. Look away ball, missed its target. Sebas go inside to Henderson. Long penetrating left foot kick. Will go inside 50. Arno will take the mark. Words did well against McDonald. He retreats back with the hand pass. Dumping kick to set up flag is bad. Should be turned over. Mark saved by Henderson from 60. He pounds a long one from outside the paint and all the way home for Felix.
Jacob Woods has been really good down back where he's been able to spoil the ball and get it to ground. Just in the end there, they just weren't able to clear it. And, boys, how many times has Felix Henderson just seemed to be in the way?
And in the second half, too. Yeah. Like, he didn't have a great first half, but he's been really prominent this third quarter.
He'd already had those 10 touches in this term, Brad McGowan. And now he has a goal. And now he has the most influence on the ground. And he gets talked about for the Sporting Club Player of the Day because that's what he does in the second half.
Yeah, but it's generally at the stoppage, like getting the handball received. But because Sebas aren't winning it, he's from the midfield, but he seems to get back behind the ball. And the opposition are just kicking it to him constantly. So that's Redan's fault, really. They've been hitting him, and he's too dangerous a player to kick the ball to in space.
So acting coach Shane Snipson decided, Cooper Littlehouse, you stay down back. I'm going to give Mason a go in the ruck whilst Toby Hutt's resting. And Sebas win the clearance on this occasion through Banbury. Kicks it forward. Coming out to meet us, that man again. Henderson, isn't he? Quarter. Kicks in short in the direction of Minari. Overran the footy. Hatley got back, picked up, was tackled strongly by McDonald. Umpire says no prior opportunity. I'll throw the ball up.
And Sebas just seem to be inching their way in front a little bit now. And I guess Sebas are just a bit more dangerous when they go forward. Redan's still had more of the ball this quarter.
Yeah, it's a talent identification thing. Whereas Cassidy was doing the ruck with there. Banbury gets somewhat of a clearance to Mason, who just handed it to his teammate. He didn't handball. He didn't do anything. He said, your problem, not mine. And we're going to stop it to centre half back.
You don't say that too often, do you?
Oh, it was very odd. That's all I can put it down to.
It's back to Littlehales and Bond in the ruck.
So Littlehouse is coming up to do the ruck work on this occasion. Medwell handball to Cassidy, got it hurriedly on boot, kick to a contest, umpire's fan a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Redan and it's going to go to Barker against Minari for a hold. So Barker goes in short and finds a teammate. Geez, this man has been super this afternoon. Connolly takes the mark. I'd love to see his numbers, and we will during the week, and we'll report back on them because they'll be good. Don't worry about that. He kicks long up the line.
Got to keep your feet.
Callio overran it, but it opened up an opportunity for Catley. Goes in short. It's going to be off the wrong side of the boot. He had a lot more time than he kind of wanted, didn't he? And ended up kicking it out in the full.
Unfortunately, he didn't realise that Bailey McKay was running right towards goal unattended. If he just had widened his vision towards the corridor, it would have been a certain goal to Redan.
So Captain Hutt goes short to Banbury. And he pierces one down the line. It's an absolute beauty to Wilkinson, who's ditched the long sleeves in recent weeks. He takes the mark and he chips it over the top. Nice marks taken there by Kurt. Centre wing broadcast side. Sebastopol lead by 2 points on the Metro scoreboard. We'll go back to Wilkinson and come across the goal face to Stewart if he likes. As they work some angles, he doesn't. Takes on the man of the mark, bit of foot candy.
Wouldn't have done that too many times in his career.
And pounds at the centre wing, hits the turf. This is where Anderson wants to go. He picks it up, goes for a run, takes one, bounces Anderson on the non-preferred left foot kick. Henderson the target, sliding in, couldn't take the mark. And the ball's hashed inside forward 50. Ball up is the result for Sebas.
It's just so obvious that Sebas need Tony Lockyer and Banbury back to switch the ball. I don't reckon they've switched it once, and even then they looked like they were going to and didn't. It's a different Sebas side without those two back there.
Littlehouse worked to the front of the contest. Connolly went in again for Redan. He's going to be, umpire said no prior opportunity. I thought he was going to, they could have gone either way there. But
I think it was good umpiring because it was just his momentum, from coming from stoppage, and he was falling. So I think that's why the leg free kick wasn't there, and then also wasn't on the ball for prior opportunity.
So it throws the ball up right on 50. Littlehouse against Taj Bond. Littlehouse won the hit out. Came back to a teammate in Bushell. He was tackled. It's going to be another ball up, almost in the same position. The Pleasant Street end of the ground. Sebas kicking in that direction.
We seem to get clumps of stoppages, don't we? Second, third, fourth, then someone finally gets out.
23 minutes gone, third term. Cassidy first to get to it. Conley on his hammer, and he's somehow come away with it. Redan, hurried hand pass into the corridor, and dangerous tackle, sling tackle against Medwell. Been a big week in the sling tackle world, and that one was picked out to go in the way of Pope, who extracted with the hand pass and was dumped into the turf.
Sebas just getting a bit frustrated. They seem to be giving away a few free kicks.
I tend to agree.
Maybe it's because they're second to the ball. I don't know.
So Pope pounds at the centre wing. Wilkinson, nice strong mark in front, takes it in front of Bond. He'll play on the veteran. He'll go to centre forward because Manari's by himself. He'll take the grab.
Tristan, did he just rotate onto the ground? How did he get so free? It looked like he ran 50 metres with no one on him.
Yep, just absolutely pegged it from the interchange bench.
So Manari, now, he's a good, accurate kick, but this is right on those veteran legs for him, I feel. He's going to have to strike it absolutely perfect from just outside 50. Manari, for two in a row for the Borough. He arcs around, he pounds it long, and trying to get that accuracy, he just wheels that just a little too far to the right and misses for a minor score. 5 points to margin on the Metro scoreboard the way of the Borough.
In other news, boys, is it McLean or is it the Undertaker? He's risen back from the dead. He's about to come back on.
He heard the gong, and out he comes.
Absolutely. God, that really does surprise me, given, we saw him down the ground for quite some time, but I'm sure the Redan medical team have the matter in hand as Lawson brings the ball back into play, kicks long, strong mark overhead. That's Littlehales. He's marked in front of Taj Bond. Just what the Borough needed. He comes across dangerously, but Banbury's up to the task for Sebas. He's inside centre square, kicks into a lead on the 50. Beautiful kick, Jack Banbury, and James McDonald will go back and line up for a third.
And you said it right there. They've worked the angles that time, Brad McGowan. They took the risk in the corridor, found him in the Banbury kick. Well, he doesn't let you down, and when you like to be leading to that in the pocket, nothing you do as the defender. The kick was just perfect.
It was, and McDonald is fast off his first five is so quick. Good mark.
So McDonald kicked a couple in the opening term. Right foot kicks on its way, and it's across the face. Minor score, 7 goals, 10, 52 on the Metro scoreboard, the 6-10, 46. And even 1 goal margin here, 25 minutes gone in the third quarter. Live at the City Oval, thanks to our number 1 ticket ID to a gym.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fantastic game of football. We're just finishing off the third quarter. I think it's going to come right down to the wire.
And a really healthy crowd here this afternoon, as good as we've seen across the Ballarat Football Netball League season, as Lawson brings the ball back into play for Redan. Littlehouse finds himself in front, tackled the Redan player high. Umpire was on the other side of it, didn't see it. Littlehouse lucky not to give away the free kick. The Redan player gets up holding his head as if to make a point to the umpire. The umpire says, too bad. We're throwing the ball in the air, gents. And he does just that as Littlehouse up against Madden. Madden wanted out down to Banbury for some bass. Tried to kick it off the ground, came back to Henderson. And as Brad McGowan called a little earlier, we seem to have 2 or 3 stoppages in a row.
Just looking at the make-up inside 50 for Redan with Luke Keel all the way at full back for Sebas. Of course, was rolling loose across half-back in the opening term, and he's forced to defend now.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's a tactic. I've certainly used that with teams before. If you want to take a player, opposition defender out of the play, whoever he's on, run into the goal square.
Little Hales with a tap, gets a forward of the ball. Redan first to react. Pope to Bushell with the 1-2. He'll go long down the line. Carroll and Stewart. Neither tall in the marking contest. Hutt did well, got it away and gone.
He got a handball to that.
It was a lingering tackle. Then he handballed the umpire. I think went slightly early and was caught with the problem as the Carroll goes inboard to find Madden. Madden will chip it inboard. Mark's taking Bushell. There's Barker on the overlap on the outer side if he can get it to him. He'll take the mark. He'll play on. He'll go to half forward and he'll look for Bond. He missed him. Ball at ground level, picked up by McKay, outside the boot, don't tell me! Oh, there's a goal here! Outside the boot, back to McKay, levels the scores!
Oh, Redan on the move. We talked about Baylor McKay. He's run that running pattern several times from the wing. He just charges forward, and the ball spilled over the back to him. He was running probably on the wrong angle. It was a very tough right foot check side kick that he just hit sweetly. And we had a beautiful angle over here. It went straight through, and the Redan boys are up and about all over the place.
Quite the goal, and beautifully called from Sam Young. Keep an eye on the Ballarat Football Netball League socials during the week, because you'll want to see that one. You'll want to see a replay of it around the 27-minute mark of the third quarter. Not going to see too many better than that.
Redan back in front by a point, gents.
So it'll be Little Hales up against Madden. Little Hales won that one, actually. Ball went to ground. Medwell went in strongly, was taken high. Umpire said play on. Ball went to ground. Anderson, the youngster, went in, got the handball out. Looks like it's going to force another stoppage. So, seen some puzzling umpiring decisions this afternoon, and you boys know better than anyone. I'm their greatest advocate, but some's gone either way. It hasn't favoured either side. That last holding the ball, free kick against Ben Hutt. That's me pulling my hair out. The umpire throws the ball in the air. Very easy to say from 150 metres away, mind you. He's right on the spot, so he might be very well right. And
well, he just went early with the whistle. It's simple as that. I think he got it wrong. I mean, because the AFL probably asked, please explain. He'd probably have to apologise, but in the end, there's none of that. And it's free kick and goal to Redan. Doesn't take away from what was a impossible finish from Bailey McKay deep into the third term to bring the City Oval to life. Back on the way here. Anderson able to emerge for Sebas. Redan beast or honeypot sort of stuff, and retreat by hand pass. Broke up by Henderson with just a left paw to bring it to ground, and a ball up with a result. Now, the electronic scoreboard here, thanks to Metro, has Redan by a point. On my score sheet, I have it all level, so we'll get that corrected sooner rather than later to see if I'm making a fool of myself or not.
I'll back you.
And we'll go at half forward in the dying embers of this third term. Attacking into the ground for Sebas. Either way, they've let it every change thus far. And the siren will sound as we have a grandstand finish on the horizon here at the City Oval between a young Lions and a Sebastopol side making a case for premiership.
Down there momentarily, Walsh did the mopping up. Antoinette, back to Clark. That's a good finish. Albeit to Shearer in the middle of the ground, and he kept running, Clark. And the penetrating left foot kick. Bouncing ball, it got out the back and it bounced favourably. Boundary throw in. Clark had front spot, won the tap. Farrugia, something out of nothing. And he breaks the shackles and gets the Blood's second goal of this final term.
Tyrrell up against Brinker-Ritchie in the centre of the ground. Brinker-Ritchie won that decisively and got straight to Morris. He could kick it from here. He's 70 metres out. Oh! Josh Morris has kicked the goal from 70 metres out, straight through the middle. You won't see that too many times in your lifetime, people.
2 or 3 quick goals, they're going to set themselves up with any chance of victory.
One throws the ball in the air. Roves ball sharp by Fulton. Got the 1-2. Went from outside 50. Long shot at goal. Not quite as good as Josh Morris, but a fair effort nonetheless.
Doors, experience matters, as no one wants to be stuck inside or out. For over 40 years, Ballarat and District Garage Doors has kept local homes and businesses secure. A local family-owned business and a registered builder, supplying and installing quality garage doors, plus expert repairs and service backed by leading manufacturers. Fully trained technicians, competitive pricing, honest advice. Don't risk it. Call Ballarat and District Garage Doors or visit the showroom.
Proudly local and here for Ballarat. That's Ross Street Building Supplies. Locally owned and operated for 34 years, they're your neighbours, not a franchise. From framing, flooring and doors to pergolas, decks, fencing, gates and garden gear, they've got what you need. Backed by friendly service and know-how you can trust. They'll cut it, load it and deliver it fast. Support local. Build local with Ross Street Building Supplies. 3 Ross Street, Ballarat, or visit discounttimber.com.au.
Thinking of an EV? Think MG. Thinking of fast charging, clever tech, impressive range, and electrifying performance? Think MG. Thinking of safety features like a 360-degree camera or a 10-year warranty? Think MG. If you're thinking of an EV, you know who to think.
Visit Peter Stevens MG today. LMCT 11740. T's and C's apply.
Harvey Norman Ballarat, your local destination for mobile phone and computer accessories. Grab a quality Signet 3-in-1 magnetic wireless charger stand for just $143. Wirelessly charge your phone, AirPods and Apple Watch all at the same time. Head in store now. Harvey Norman Ballarat, corner of Gillies and Howard Street.
Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Live.
Ball goes in the air. Lockie Bond jumps in front of his brother. Nearly marked it. Umpire called play on. Ball comes to Grand Daniel Bond. Handball over to Pittard. Pittard on the right boot from the boundary line. How's that for a goal?
Alno will take the mark. Works did well against McDonald. He retreats back with the hand pass. Dummy kicks it up. Black is bad. Should be turned over. Mark saved by Henderson from 60. He pounds a long one from outside the paint and all the way home for Felix. Welcome back to 3B's Footy's home ground. Thanks to D2E, Jim. From Dallas to Wendouree, you're never too far from D2E. We're on the Metro scoreboard. It is all square going into the final term. 7-10-52, both sides here. Redan and Sebastopol as we cross down. Our man Tristan Ashmore has been listening into a very large and healthy Sebastopol huddle.
Yeah, gents, I was down in the Sebast huddle, and they identified they had to get hands on it first more often. They wanted to limit Pittard's impact on the wing and found themselves getting too close, and the spread was poor across the ground. However, they relished this as a challenge and are known as the fourth quarter kings. Game on.
Yeah, well said, Tristan Ashmore. Just like doing fine work all afternoon. As we go to you, Brad McGowan, for your thoughts of 3 quarters of footy, who's been up there for Spoil and Clo Player Day, but the question for the listeners, who wins it from here?
Well, yeah, we certainly saw in that quarter that Redan were getting their hands on the ball. And as Tristan just said, Sebast would be saying, hey, how can we get this first possession? Because over and over and over again, it's Jake Conley somehow getting his hands on the ball for an 18-year-old kid in Year 12. Yeah, just to keep getting hold of the ball and feeding it out to his teammates. It's been a super effort by him. He would be certainly someone who's up there in a strong position for the player of the game, the Sporting Globe player of the game. Having said that, Felix Henderson was fantastic for Sebast that quarter as an inside mid. He was getting the ball a bit more on the outside. But I want to give a bit of a shout out to the Redan small forwards, half forwards. When you think of playing Redan, you think of more their tall forwards. You think Lockie Bond, Daniel Bond, Taj Bond, Sam Callio. But guys like Ollie Pittard, Bailey Carroll, Henry Liston and Bailey McKay, they're players that are workmanlike, small, mid, half forwards, and often the ball has been kicked. Often Redan have come off half back and their key forwards have been too far away. They've been almost 2 kicks away and they've had to go often just kicking one-on-one to some of those smaller forwards, and they've played their role really well. They've worked together and they've been able to get the ball then and connect with the tall forward. So a shout out to those guys. I think they've been really important.
I think you nail on the head there, Brad McGowan. You think about the 2 goals that Redan kicked in that term. You had Pittard kick a wonderful one around the body from the boundary line, and then you had McKay running away from the goals to the boundary. Those small forwards are wait and goal because naturally you always associate the Mercurial and the special with them. They produce it. That keeps them in the game. Take those 2 goals out. They're down by 10 points at the line break, and it's like, we'll get against the best. Who knows? So I think that's a big important piece in the puzzle as well.
Absolutely. Just go around the grounds while I've got the chance for Go Via to Ballarat, your local health store, Melton 8755, trailing Sunbury 12 goals straight.
Wow.
72, kicking very well down there at McPherson Park. In other games around the league, Bacchus Marsh have had a really good third quarter. They're 7-12-54. They trail now by just 17 points. Darley 11-5-71 in the derby. Lake Wendouree 4-9-33. 25 points down on Ballarat, 9-14-68. The third quarter is usually when we see them drop away, but they've done something at halftime there because they've stuck with Ballarat to an extent. And in the other game, East Point 3-5-23 against a very inaccurate North Ballarat 8-20-68.
Wow. And as the big crowd gets their way slowly off the field, I will tell you Redan did end up going down in the netball, so Sebastopol ended up winning that game by 3. And I'll give you a quick AFL update in the North Melbourne v Melbourne game. I'm excited at this stage to give you the result. I know that Tristan Zeri has put his knee into Max Gawn and corked his leg straight away. Ooh. And North Melbourne have kicked the first 3 goals. They led 3-1. Melbourne just got a goal. So 3-1-19 to Melbourne 1-6.
Kangas need that one. They need a scalp Brad McGowan.
They do. Hopefully I'm still interested in giving you updates a bit later on.
Grandstand finish here this afternoon. Both sides level. We have identified it as match of the round. It certainly lived up to the billing. All square. And kick up the final term here is Roger LeGrand live at City Oval.
Don't go anywhere, ladies and gents, because this is going to be a ripper. Ball thrown in the air. Toby Hutt won the hit out, but he came down pretty heavily. He wasn't able to get the clearance. Banbury goes through. Sebastopol through Fletcher. Kick into the pocket, went over McDonald's head. The veteran Wirtz goes back. And with great composure, able to handball over to Lang, who clears out a defensive 50.
He bounced down the line in the main direction, got the most cruel of bounce, and only favourite Hutt coming the other way. He manufactured it forward. Good tackle applied by Catley to keep it alive, but coming away with it is Sebastopol by hand. Out to Banbury, right foot kick into the pocket, looking for Henderson, right for hand! Special! He put up the 1-2 and somehow pulled it down.
Yeah, fantastic mark. I thought Jacob Wirtz for Redan had a chance to come over the top, but I think he thought that Henderson wasn't going to mark it, so let it go. In the end, Henderson was just able to take the mark.
He goes laterally to the captain. He was on the wrong side for a left footer, and he's squared it up directly in front, 20 metres out to the skipper all by himself. That is a cardinal sin if you're Mark Gregg in the coach box. He'd be tearing. If he had any hair left, maybe he had the beard. He would be filthy with his defence there, as Ben Hart from half back has found himself 20 out directly in front to put his side back in front. Hutt comes in. Is it a major? Is it a minor? It's a major! And the Borough, within 90 seconds, strike first.
So Coach Shane Snipson for Sebastopol, or interim coach today, said, hey, we need to get our hands on the ball more at the centre clearance. That's exactly what happened then, boys. They got the ball, got it forward, got it inside 50. And interestingly, clever enough to be able to have someone like Henderson go forward. We know he's such a damaging player, and I was able to do that on this occasion.
8-10-58 Sebastopol. Redan 7-10-52. Opening minutes of this last quarter for D2E Gyms from Delacombe to Wendouree, and never too far from a D2E. It's an absolute ripper as the umpire throws the ball back up. Hutt has really stepped up in the ruck, but his hit out went straight to Pope from Redan, kicked inside 50. Ball came to Callio. He got a handball. I don't know if you could call it that. Daniel Bond picked up. Ball went in. Bond was tackled without. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Redan right on 50.
Yeah, it's the Undertaker. That's looking to clean. Outside 50. Held without it. We thought he was gone. He visited the Lazarus down in the den, and he's re-emerged. And he'll shoot from right outside the paint.
Too far out, I reckon, gents. Although he's a nice kick of the footy.
He is a beautiful strike of it. And we're right behind this kick thanks to, I don't want to go D2E Gym. McLean, a long, steady approach. He hits a high ball. It won't make the distance at the top of the square. Off hands. One for the Smalls to go to work. Those impressive Smalls for the Lions. Retreat with the hand pass. Sebastopol with Hutt. Keep it alive. He chips it over the top. And it manufactured nicely. And Sebastopol take a mark inside the defence through Banbury as they look to maybe access the corridor potentially. They like to work the angles. He decides to go down the line. Leading up to it was Forbes. Grant did well at front. Ball hits the turf. We might favour Sebastopol to come out the front now with the Forber. He keeps it alive. He puts on the little disco dance shoes and he hints at the half forward. Ball hits the turf. It spills the half forward for the Borough. Keeping it alive, Fletcher. He'll retreat if he likes. He decides to pound a high one towards full forward around the body. Henderson the target. He brings it to the ground. Somehow alive for Sebastopol. And in the end, a stoppage is a good result from that entry from the Borough.
Minari stayed down here, boys, in the hands of the trainers now following that contest.
So we'll keep an eye on him. Ashmanari, ball will be thrown up around 35 metres out directly in front of the Sebas. Goals. Large crowd here at City Oval. Fletcher jumped over the top of everyone. Kick came hurriedly out towards the boundary line. Anderson went in. Ball came back to Lang, who came through from Redan. Goes in short. Finds a teammate, and it's Carroll. He comes across to Pittard. Marks just inside the boundary line. Almost right in front of the grandstand here at City Oval. Comes up the line, does Pittard, and finds Callio. Slow movement from Redan as Callio looks to play on.
Callio wheels around him. Goes high to half forward. Bond against Phillips. Bond wrestled his way to the front. And with the one Duke took the wonderful grab. 65 from goal.
Monaro did get himself off the ground.
He'll play on. He'll go long. Looking to full forward. Looking to charge. Lil Hale's got to the ground. Ball live inside 50 for Redan. On hands and knees, Sebas desperate. Couldn't find its target. And in the end, they concede with a dodgy-looking hand pass through for a minor. 7 goals, 11, 53 trails, 8, 10, 58 on the Metro scoreboard.
Tristan, it's just worth checking out what Jake Conley's doing. You know, notice he hasn't been on the ground this quarter. Maybe he just started off in the rotations, but I reckon they've missed him with a couple of clearances so far.
They certainly have. We spoke at three-quarter time about Cassidy and Medwell needing to step up, and they've certainly done that to start the last quarter. Kicking comes out in the direction of Cassidy, dropped it, but they went back and picked it up, came inboard to that man, Medwell. So the two we just spoke about, getting some football. Medwell's a hurried kick in the direction of Banbury. Didn't quite mark it, went back in and got it, was tackled without it. Yep. Umpire said, yep, I agree. Free kick going the way of Jack Banbury.
Definitely put some mayo on it, but there was a bit of a hold and wins the free kick, goes inboard to Henderson.
Redan got numbers back, 3 spare defenders back inside 50.
Can't just blaze away, it's too easy for him. From a standing start, he took on the man of the mark to Henderson. He runs to 70, he pokes it in the pocket. Fletcher with the stretch, he leaves it for Forbes!
Great talk.
The former comes through his head, big time, and takes the mark.
What about Felix Henderson's kick, though? There's 3 spare defenders in there. He just sums up the game. He's got so much time. He's just able to do a perfect kick out in front of Forberton.
Now, last week it was, we heard of Wharfie time, it became Forber time. Left foot snap, around the body, this side. Minor score.
How was the selflessness from Fletcher? He could have marked that himself, but thought, Forbes is in a better position, I'm going to give it to him.
6 points the margin on the Metro scoreboard. Redan go quickly towards the outer side.
Lawson kicks it over the top to Clark. Clark plays on, runs his full complement. He almost ran too far, and the umpire said, Roger, you're right.
Yeah, had him
at free kick going the way of Sebastopol.
Get him back out there. Get Roger on the ground.
I had him at 15.1 on the live abacus, so umpire got that one right.
Macca Connolly's back on, just got stuck on this far side.
Okay.
Mason, the beneficiary, will go inboard, find Ben Hunt. Goes short, required 15-metre pass. Henderson made to earn it as he's racking him up in the second half.
Would have had 5 this quarter already after getting his 10 last quarter.
Can he go inside 50 again? He decides to go wide. He sets a task for Cassidy, who just word poke underneath it. He plays on dangerously. He thumps it long in the side, and I think he tried to keep the Redan defence napping by going quickly. In the end, got himself into a bind and missed with the inaccurate kick. 7 points to margin. Lawson to bring it back in.
He brought it back in very quickly, did Lawson. Kicked up the line. Phillips found himself in front. Almost could have marked it in the end. Umpire said, no, not enough.
Wow.
Handballed over to Banbury. Banbury kicks inside 50 in the direction of Forbes. Drop what he should have taken. Ball comes back to McDonald. Was he legged? Umpire said, no, it's going to be holding the ball. Free kick to Redan. I thought that was a low tackle, Sam Young.
Well, it's one of those ones. The umpire took a long time to. I think he was, debating that between himself. You could sort of see him go, oh, is it holding the ball, is it legged? And in the end.
And Jordan Grant, who we know has got a history of concussions himself, is a bit groggy there, Brad McGowan.
Yeah, is it a lower leg injury or is it concussion?
The way he's just sort of grasping that knee, I feel like he might have even just twisted the ankle with just the way he's trying to use the support. And Harry Lawson's calling on a trainer straight away. He knows he's in a bit of trouble here.
And the umpire, I don't think, ever blew time on there,
So we've got to be, and he's tapping on the head there, Lawson. He's given us all the diagnosis himself, is Dr. Lawson. He said he's in a bit of trouble with a concussion. There you go.
Dr. Lawson. So the umpire has picked up the ball because obviously Grant was meant to take the free kick, so the game has to fully stop. We won't be able to get underway until he is safely off the ground.
And they can't get him up either. He's he's done. Like he's absolutely.
So do they go all the way to the other
They
side?
have to take him off to the room.
Why don't you just come straight over the boundary and then straight into the rooms?
He might have also twisted his ankle as he's been concussed here as well. That because he has a fair hobble, just sort of leaning on that left ankle. Well, it's right in front of us. We're in the perfect spots to be able to see this one. But yeah.
So they've brought a player on now. So Grant has gone over the boundary line another metre or two, and it's like the umpire is concerned that he's still too close to the game, is he?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he's been assessed by training. He's off the field of play now. It looks.
The funny thing is, the umpire never stopped the clock.
No, well, that is. That's just seconds ticking away. But
he put his hand up, but he.
Bushel for Redan, boys, has come back on number 24.
Yeah, to replace what we can only assume is Dave Dunn for Grant. So Lawson, long down, high down the line. Bond! Nice fly, took the mark. Nice clean clunk from Lockie. And he goes off the instep, pulled the kick a little bit. We'll give Catley a chance to run onto it. He's held without it. Umpire wave play on him. Retreats to the hand pass in the direction there of Bushell, the man that just checked in. And the ball's eventually taken on the line there with a nice McKay tackle, so we'll get a ball in.
So Jordan Grant, a history of concussions too. Brad McGowan, so he even wore a helmet in his Central Highlands days because he did have a series of them. So there's a worrying sign for him. Hopefully he's okay. There's a couple of people around there helping him now as the boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. Toby Hutt one out. There's that man again. Hasn't he been fantastic today, Connolly? He wasn't able to get away cleanly that time. And the umpire comes in and says, I will ball the ball up. And so it's just on the Redan side of the centre circle. We've played 10 minutes in the quarter. The margin is 7 points in favour of Sebastopol. Umpire throws the ball in the air. Madden got to front position, got it down to Bond, handled it almost himself. Banbury very good, and he's had a good second half as Jack Banbury goes across the face of goal, almost quite dangerously. He wasn't able to find the chest of Curtin. He fell over at the crucial moment. Allowed the first game in Liston to go back and get it. Handled over to Clark. He dropped it. And Sebastopol got away with it here. Mason, handball onto Banbury. Inside 50 now in the direction of Cassidy. Poor kick, and turnover finds the way of Lawson for Redan.
He goes proactive with the kick in, board to find Pope. He can continue on the centre forward. He saw a target that he liked. Mark's taken there by McKay. He wheels around and looks for Bond in the pocket. Bounce off his chest, ball still alive. The smalls at work for Redan. High contact, maybe. Gone! Threw the head back thinking he might have been collecting time, but free kick for holding the ball and free kick to Luke Keelan and Sebas.
Geez, well done McKay though. Just took that mark and then switched, rolled onto the right foot.
As he kicks across goal, finds Stewart in the goal square for Sebastopol. Plays on, comes out the grandstand side here at City Oval. Big fly from Bond, Lachlan. Ball comes to ground. Handball comes out in the direction of Lachlan. Bond. Ooh, strong high contact late on Rob Brown. Umpire said it was Hommelhoff, actually. Umpire said no. That's okay, fellas. We will ball the ball up right on 50 at the Redan end of the ground.
Minari back on Sebas, boys.
Yeah, so after a quick assessment, he's able to get back on there. Of course, down with no Edwards. Redan now down with Grant. So one rotation each to finish here. Sebas will get the clearance. They've just got their hands on the footy to start this final term. Cassidy! Strong mark in front of young Sean Mason. Took the grab. Defensive side centre wing on the broadcast side. The Henderson medalist from years gone by, and he switches it. It's a dangerous kick. It's a good kick. Wilkinson takes the mark. He can go top to Keel, who's breaking for him. He just waits for him and chips in that direction. He'll take the grab himself, and he'll go over the top. We've got loose players at half forward. The mark is taken in the shadows here of the final term at the City Oval. Sebas with it. 55 from goal. Is it Fletcher, Tristan down there who's got it?
Yeah, I believe so, boys.
So from outside 50, be a good strike. They lead by 7 points. Long shot coming up. He's had an inaccurate day.
O'Shea.
Oh, O'Shea. My apologies with him.
Hard to tell. He's in the shadows of that Redan drummer.
Right foot kick, got very close to man the mark. Always looks skinny, and in the end, the umpire's done a merry dance. Says straight through for a minor score. 8 goals 13. 61 on the Metro scoreboard to 7-11-53.
Had 3 good chances at goal this quarter, Sebas, from set shots, which they've missed all of them. So will that come back to bite them? We will find out as Lawson brings the ball back into play for Redan. Goes long up the Sturt Street side of the ground. Madden found himself one out, but dropped the mark. Ball came back with interest to Sebas. Cassidy to Hommelhoff. wasn't able to mark. Great spoil from Lawson. Ball went to ground, and the umpire will ball the ball right up in front of the scoreboard here at City Oval.
Sebastopol just feel like they're going to break through at some stage now. They've had inside 50 after inside 50, particularly when Felix Henderson kicks it inside 50. It looks a bit more dangerous, but Redan defending desperately right now.
Half forward, Sebastian's handball into space, comes away as Conley. He doesn't need no invitation. He just pounds at the middle of the City over the Bond. Big spoil by Little House. He got it to the turf. Hummelhoff will pick it up. He'll pound it inside 50 poorly. The mark should be taken by Wirtz. So Wirtz with it at the full-back position, the captain. He spits it towards the broadcast side. Mark's taken there by Conley, who's been terrific. One of the real contenders for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day. He goes short to Zach Lane. He takes the mark, tries to take on the man. And he gets himself into a bind. And that's the captain's moment for Ben Hutt. First of all, puts him in front of the goal. And now a big tackle. Holding the ball, chips it 14 metres over the top, I would have thought. Found Banbury outside 50-70 from goal.
I reckon it was lucky to be 8 metres.
So he'll go, well, in the end, he squares it to Cassidy again in the pocket of space. He goes to turf and milks it a little. Now, he's not necessarily a thumping kick is Lockie Cassidy, but he might take his 30. Keel whips around trying to get a hand pass, but Cassidy goes short and latches across to Ben Hart, marks 49 from goal. He plays on, takes on Bond on the mark, and goes across to O'Shea. So they got him to one they got. Sorry, Fletcher this time.
There's no one on the mark.
If there's one bloke I wanted with the ball in his hand in this situation, it's just him.
Because Fletcher is a long kick.
And an accurate one.
And he's got a beautiful set shot technique. He's kicked 1-3 for the afternoon, but he really does strike it beautifully from this situation. He'll shoot from right on the paint, 45 metres out.
Call it home, Sam.
Midway through the final term. They've done all the pressing. Can they get the separation? Fletcher comes in and was near side again. Another minor.
Brad, that's 4 set shots a goal, 4 misses.
It was clever work by Sebastopol, though. Madden, the ruckman for Redan, was back, and he was opposed to Fletcher, so Fletcher just drifted out to sort of 40 metres out so he could get that mark. Sebastopol are pressing, though. They'll find a way through eventually. Redan have to get this ball out of their half.
Lawson comes up the middle and finds that man, Madden, who marks in front. He's looking to move the ball quickly for Redan. In the end, he handballs back to Lawson, the old 1-2. Lawson over to Carroll. Carroll comes down the middle of the ground and finds a teammate in Lockie Bond. Handball goes over the top to Liston and hits Taj Bond on the chest. Great ball movement, Redan.
And it's Harry Lawson this term. He's been massive. He's just run with reckless abandonment. Yes, he gets the kick out, but they run for 50 metres to get the handball received. And then another piercing ball. That's a guy who's had a tough day being checked all day, Brad McGowan. You go, you know what? That's a leader of our footy club, taking on the moment.
Wonderful play. And Taj Bond and Pittard have stated that disconnected players. They were 150 metres away from the ball and eventually just used their speed to be able to mark it.
So Bond to make it a 3-point ball game. Kick is on its way. It looks across the face, but it's alive. It's marked in the pocket there by Lockie Bond. The kick on goal drifted across the face. The mark is taken by Lockie in the pocket.
He'll run around on the right. I reckon he's got this in him.
Yeah, couple steps, screw punts, and make it a 3-point ball game from 20 metres out. Has to be careful not to hit it too skinny. Bond just needs to work his way through. Oh, and he sent it across the face. Almost hit the Ryan's 8 IG out the full.
He did. It went all the way across. It wasn't it? He didn't panic, but
he didn't run out enough. He took 1 or 2 steps out.
Just opened up a bit more. It's a much easier kick as you reduce the angle. They didn't work their way through it at all. And Sebastopol survived.
Both teams having their chances here in front of goal with set pieces as Sebastopol bring the ball out of defensive 50. Henderson, who's had an amazing second half, he just uses that footy so well every time, and he finds a teammate, this time in Wilkinson, the veteran. Wilkinson comes up the City Oval wing in the direction of Ben Hart. That is a good kick from Wilkinson. Ben Hart with ball in hand. Looking in short, Banbury. He's been very good. Takes his time, does Jack Banbury. He knows that we've ticked over 18 minutes. He knows they've just got to hold on to this footy. In the end, he's forced to go long up the line towards Minari. McDonald dropped what he should have taken. Ball went to ground. It'll be a ball up right in front of us here at City Oval, the broadcast position, almost in front of the canteen, if you can visualise that in the car or at home. And it's still going to be a grandstand finish.
So in the right could be Bond against Mason. Bond knocks it over the shoulder. Coming through was Medwell. He didn't gather up on the spot. He's picked out a free kick.
Signalled the wrong way, I think. Whose free kick is it? Is it Sebas or...
Legged. That was trying to go the way of
Conley came up with the ball.
But I thought he was signalling for Medwell to get
It was all confusing for everyone involved, but Conley comes away for a dance. Ball to centre wing broadcast side. Bond! Big fly couldn't mark Henderson. He emerges. Dinky little left foot kick around the body towards Roadbank, picked up there by Carroll of Redan. He pounds it down the line, and Wilkinson, just protected in front, and he says the block. It'll go against Wilkinson, it'll go the way of Redan.
Now, Pittard's ahead of the ball, and he has 50 metres of space.
So it'll be a free kick for Daniel Bond and to Redan.
Well, if you can tell me what's going on, Sam Young, you'll be helping me out as the kick goes long inside 50. Great mark down there. I think it's...
Lockie Bond.
It is Lockie Bond. Takes and goes on quickly, kicks long towards the goal square. Anderson very cleverly, under pressure, the youngster just tapped the ball through from behind. So Redan got a 7-12, 54, Sebas 8-14, 62. Brad McGowan, what is going on?
It may be too early to say this, but just next goal win, we're at about the 20-minute mark. Redan trailing by that, 8 points. I guess Redan need 2 goals, don't they? And they've been peppering the goals. Both teams have, really. Next couple of goals, so important. I reckon there's only 2 or 3 goals left in this game.
Sebasco short in the pocket. Stewart into space, half back as we tick into that red time. He'll retreat back. And the Borough just maintain possession here. Long kick coming from Hutt. It's a high. Buxton takes it again. There's Lockie.
Taj is on. He's in good space. Get it to him one-on-one deep.
Got to get long and quickly to Taj. He goes long in that direction with the high kick towards the Giraffe. He had to spoil, waiting down, snapped by Daniel Bond, is across the face. And it's bounced in the field play just, but Curtin's able to walk over the line, so minus score. 7 points now in the Metro scoreboard. That handy point to the Borough from their own missed opportunities. Red time, anyone's ball game still here at City Oval.
So there's only been the 1 goal in this last quarter, and we've played almost 21 minutes. Now, there was the injury to Jordan Grant, which we'll get an update from Tristan Ashmore on before too long, but we think his day is done. Well, it is, because he went across the boundary line instead of for the interchange.
Lower leg injury.
So there's only been the 1 goal, but there will be a bit of time on because of that injury. As the ball from Cassidy comes up the line, umpire's found a free kick.
Push to Bond.
It'll go the way of Redan, and it'll go the way of Lockie Bond.
He's been huge in the last 5 minutes, just marking everything.
And that's why Phillips panics there, because he's been beaten in the air a couple of times, so he pushes in the back because he's nervous, because he's had a couple of big moments, as you said, Brad McGowan.
Can they swap over? Could you get Taj higher and Lockie deeper? Because when he's marking the ball, he's closer to goal.
Long kick in towards Taj Bond, and it only finds the chest of Sebas as it floats out the back. Mark's taken there by the Borough, and they go across the goal. Over the keel, sold a bit of foot candy, pounds at the centre wing, but the Redan player and Matt just checked back on the ground and walked straight into it, took the mark. So the Lions can go forward. It's taking side centre wing on the outer side. He'll play on with Will. He'll hit a hot spot with a high ball, looking for one of the Bond boys. Big sport on the ground by Sebas. First to react there were the Borough, and now Henderson streaming off half-back. No one's caught him all year, and now he got caught now.
And the umpire called play on.
Would you believe it? Scrubby kick forward, and juggling marks a keel.
I guess he did get his left foot to adjust, but gee, it felt like holding the ball.
He was moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
So Keel with the ball in hand, goes in short, finds Cassidy. I want to acknowledge yet some of the young efforts from, some of the efforts from young Wiley Anderson this afternoon. He won't appear on the stats sheet, but just his contact and tackling's been outstanding. Kick comes up and Medwell, great mark. Used his body really well, played on quickly and got off to Rockbrand. Kicks long towards the corner. Forbes pushed him out. But he actually pushed Sean Mason into the footy and he took the mark.
So Mason goes short. What a big one-on-one win for the youngster in game 4. He went to Lawson, who's been big in the term. The lead is for Redan lifting, but can they break the damn wall and get a goal in this term? Conley's been massive. He'll pound it wide to the outside. Redan play slid in, dropped the mark. Henderson backtracks, kick around the body. Did it went 15 high? Did it go 15 long? Yes, it did, said the umpire. Mark's paid the Banbury. He slows it up. That little casual approach. He'll wheel around. He'll pound it long. Cassidy the deepest ball, but here's Toby Hutt. He didn't mark. Cassidy snaps around the body. Was it touched?
it
Yes,
was touched.
it was. It went between the big sticks, but it was touched on the boot. Minor score. Words to come away with it.
So Sebastopol players, some of them thought it was a goal and celebrated. Meanwhile, Redan have brought the ball out from full back and it's in the hands of Michelle. Michelle goes in short and finds a teammate in Carroll. Carroll's in the centre of the ground. There's still time for Redan. He comes out wide and finds Callio all by himself on the wing. He plays on, goes up the line in the direction of Tajbon. Tajbon, great spoil. Phillips. We've been critical of some of the spoiling from the Sebas defenders this afternoon, but not on that occasion. That was terrific from Phillips.
Sebas also were very good at getting numbers back there. Again, Tajbon was forced very wide. Sebas managed to get 2 key defenders free back inside 50. So again, we go with Redan having the ball in their forward half, trying to find a way to score here.
Can they find that avenue to goal? Ball in just inside the paint, as Brad McGowan said. Bond, he tried to take it out of the air. He was stripped of it. Still alive at the 50-metre arc. Coming through, there's McKay. He's unable to gather. Another stoppage is the result. 24 and a half minutes gone. Final term.
How do you reckon Tony Lockyer's going right now up in the grandstand?
It would be the hardest watch for any senior. He can't do anything on or off the field today. He's a pure spectator.
There's a lot of numbers around this stoppage.
Ball thrown in the air. Little Howes won it out, but went straight to a Redan player. It's going to force another stoppage. That suits Sebas. It takes time off the clock. 8 points the margin. 24, nearly 25 minutes in this quarter. There will be a bit of a delay because of the injury to Jordan Grant, so there's still definitely time for Redan. Ball thrown in the air. Madden tried to grab it, couldn't.
Yeah.
It's going to be another ball up.
There's just too many players around this stoppage. Redan actually need to identify this and walk their men away. This suits Sebas, having like 25 players around the ball. Redan needs space. Get away.
It's bees or honeypot sort of stuff. It favours the Borough at half forward. For the Lions. Big fist by Little Hales. All players go without. Bushell couldn't get it. Cassidy didn't either for Sebas. Picked up by the Mercurial Henderson. He couldn't even emerge from that contest. Pope jumped on, just handballs forward in space. Picked up by Medwell, dance round one, dumps it forward, the high ball. Minari at the back, works the well at the front. He brings it to his advantage. He kicks it towards centre, forward for Redan. High ball, Little House from the side. As he slides across, and the siren will sound. And Sebas with a thriller at the City Oval.
Well, people are a bit shocked because it's only the 26-minute mark of the quarter. A short quarter of it.
I don't think they stopped the clock when Jordan Grant, because that literally, it took 2 or 3 minutes when he, and I think I commented at the time, Sam Young, I said, I don't think they've stopped the clock here because the umpire didn't blow time on. There's no way that quarter should have gone more than... should have gone 24 minutes.
But for the Borough, they win a thriller again. The Kings of the final term. They win by 8 points on the Metro scoreboard. 8 goals, 15-63, defeating Redan 7-13-55. And what was an awesome game of footy, has to be said. It was a glimpse of the future. It was a glimpse of the present. And heck, some of the veterans, they showed a glimpse of the past. It was a wonderful afternoon here.
Yeah, what a game of football. Redan should be so proud of themselves. They're young players. They were first to the footy on so many occasions. In the end, they just couldn't find enough direct avenues to goal. Sebas were just, they had that little bit more class, and in the end, probably winning the game was Felix Henderson in his move, either kicking the ball inside 50 or going forward himself, taking that mark and setting up that goal. Just that little bit more class than the Redan side, but
what a game! What a great game! Like, I mean, I know. Felt a little bit anticlimactic in the end because we thought there was still plenty of time to go, but
nevertheless,
Tony Lockyer gets away with 2 wins from 2 games when he wasn't out in the field or wasn't coaching. He'll be pleased with that. But as you said, Brad McGowan, Mark Gregg would be super pleased with that performance. And geez, what a game we've seen this afternoon.
Yeah, it's one of the best games of the season in terms of just, enthralling contest. The margin never really wavered from that couple of goals, to Sebas. Redan only led for a short period of the entire game. Every time Sebas kicked away, we thought, here we go, Redan, peg him back. And, it could very easily be walking out with them.
Down there momentarily, Walsh did the mopping up. And to that, back to Clark. That's a good finish. Albeit to Shear in the middle of the ground, and he kept running, Clark. And the penetrating left foot kick, bouncing ball, it got out the back and it bounced favourably. Boundary throw in. Clark had front spot, won the tap. Faruja, something out of nothing. And he breaks the shackles and gets the Blood's second goal of this final term.
Kirill up against Brinker-Ritchie in the centre of the ground. Brinker-Ritchie won that decisively and got straight to Morris. He could
Oh,
kick
my
it from
God.
here. He's 70 metres out. Josh Morris has kicked the goal from 70 metres out, straight through the middle. You won't see that too many times in your lifetime, people.
2 or 3 quick goals, they're going to set themselves up with any chance of victory.
One throws the ball in the air. Roves ball sharked by Fulton. Got the 1-2. Went from outside 50. Long shot and goal. Not quite as good as Josh Morris, but a fair effort.